What's up, Victoria? It's me, Victoria, and it is time for my annual declutter. If you know that you just want to jump into the declutter, go ahead and do that right now. There are timestamps down below, and the categories of makeup are also timestamped, so jump wherever you would like. But if you would like to hear what my intentions were with this declutter, and also I like to give a couple of disclaimers, please just stick through this intro. But first things first, if you are new to me, hi, my name is Tom. I like to be very critical of makeup marketing, makeup brands, unpack the advertising that makeup brands like to do. I'm someone who heavily overconsumed on makeup for quite a while, and the last couple of years I've been doing a lot of work trying to get myself out of that feeling where I feel like I need to buy makeup in order to feel good. So if that's the kind of content you would like in your feed, I would love for you to stick around and hit the subscribe button. For those interested, I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. Those are linked in the description box down below. And if you check out the pinned comment, there will be some links to help some people who need your help. If you have additional funds right now, which I know funds can be pretty tight right now around the holiday season and with all the things going on in the United States, I know that money can be tight, but if you have additional funds, supporting those causes would be great. Okay, let's jump into my usual disclaimers. So something that's really important for you to remember as you go through this really long declutter is that I am a content creator who gets PR. I do get paid on YouTube to do this work. I have Patreon and I have channel memberships. So this is a hustle for me. Considering that this is a job for me, my relationship with makeup is probably going to look very different than yours. When you see my makeup collection and the size of it, I don't think that that's something you should aspire to. However, if you have a larger makeup collection than me, I'm not saying that I am correct or morally on some kind of high ground for having less makeup than you. If your makeup collection is working for you the way that it is, there's no need to declutter. But I did need to declutter, and I do this because it's like entertaining and people really love watching people declutter things. So that's why I'm making this video. Maybe next year I won't feel the need to declutter. Who can be sure? I mean, I might, it's always nice to do. And if I don't need to declutter, I'll probably just do like a makeup collection tour, just touching base with my makeup collection next year. So that's all really important context for what you're about to see. Secondly, because I have built my makeup collection over the last 10 years, this makeup has come into my life slowly over time via me buying it, sometimes me purchasing it for review, sometimes I receive it in PR. So my makeup collection might just look a lot different than yours, and that's okay. The thing that I was really doing with intention this declutter is to make my makeup collection work for me. The last couple of years, my relationship has really changed with makeup because I do get PR sometimes, and I also do buy makeup to review. The permanent makeup drawers, which is what we're decluttering today, these need to work in a different way than they ever have for me. My makeup style is very specific whenever I am just choosing my own makeup. And that's the kind of makeup I chose to keep. I will have fun, colorful things coming in all of the time if I keep getting PR. And that's when I can really be creative, when I feel like I want to be creative. That will make me test some new colors that I don't wear often on my eyes. But I think because that's always going to be coming in and out of my life, my permanent makeup collection doesn't need to have things that I don't want to use all the time because I won't use them all the time. Especially whenever some of my attention from my makeup is being diverted from my permanent makeup drawer to the makeup I'm testing just to review, and I don't really have intentions keeping beyond that. Again, it's kind of a business that I'm running over here now. So my relationship to this is all very different. So I actually think this is maybe the most ruthless declutter that I've ever done. I'm filming this after I did the declutter. I was able to go through the declutter and just like feel out how I was feeling about my approach to it without feeling like I made some kind of exclamation in my intro that I was like, my most ruthless declutter yet. So I just kind of let whatever happened happen, and I think it just turned out to be my most ruthless declutter ever. All of that being said, I did my makeup for the first time since doing the declutter today, and it was very interesting going through my makeup collections. I talk about a lot of things while I'm decluttering, and so in the outro, I will follow up on some of the stuff I talk about throughout the declutter. And one final thing before you start the video, I just want to make sure that you know that I didn't do anything with crazy editing. I know that I am known for some crazy spikes in volume and doing some fun stuff, but this is definitely supposed to be like relaxing, and I know a lot of people like to watch declutters and fall asleep to them. So that is what I've created. I can't control how loud the ads are if you are not using YouTube Premium. So I can't control that, but I can control what audio I do have control over. And in that way, you're in for like a gentle journey. I mean, I think I get a little bit loud a couple of times, but not like for dramatic effect. I think I get excited a little bit a couple of times. Hopefully nothing that I do, if you do fall asleep to this video, will spike in volume and accidentally wake you up. That was not what I was trying to do. I was trying to make it really chill. But it's not ASMR. I am using my usual speaking voice. So with all of that being said, I hope you enjoy the 2025 declutter. We're going to do something that I've actually never done really thoroughly in a declutter, and we are going to declutter single shadows together. It's going to be like my declutter palette. Anything that goes in here, I will be finding a new home for. So here's everything I'm considering to be a single eyeshadow. Some of these are depots, some of these are like Cliona shades, some of these are other indie brand shades. I think how I want to do this is I want to first kind of go through like the Natasha Denona shades, like the ones that I can't confirm or deny where they come from. So like things like this one over here, things like this palette over here, things that like I just like don't know where they might have come from. I might be able to identify where they came from, but that way it's like I might not swatch these. I will swatch these kinds of shades, but I'm not gonna swatch like this kind of stuff. So I think that's kind of where I'm going to start, is with what I find to be like the less interesting shades. And I have a feeling that a lot of these are going to go away. The real reality of like how I've been doing my makeup the last couple of years, it's just like, it's not eyeshadow heavy, it's not eyeshadow focused. I love eyeshadow, I still do. And I like being able to have the option to be creative with it. It's just not how I really love to look anymore. And it's like something I like, but it's just like I had this vision of myself whenever I was depotting eyeshadow palettes that I would at some point make my own eyeshadow palettes and like do my own color stories, but that's just really not what's going on. It's not where I'm at. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not gonna swatch mattes, I think is what I'm probably gonna do. I'll talk through what I want to talk through. I'm just going to have the empty palette over here. We're just going to declutter that. I have other gray eyeshadow palettes. Gray is something that's really in my wheelhouse, so I don't think I need an outstanding matte gray. These grungy yellows used to be something that I really liked a lot, and I don't really love them anymore. I'm considering keeping a palette that has some of these tones in it, and I'll just use those tones if I feel like it. But it is a very rare time whenever I do choose to feel like wearing something like that. I don't wear a lot of rustic red colors, and I definitely have some like neutral browns that could get me to the same place. Blue eyeshadow and teal is just not my favorite and not something I'm really gonna choose to really ever wear. So we'll get rid of that one. This is just a nude, so I don't think I really need to keep that one. Same for this peachy shade. I don't think I need to keep it. Those I think were all, that's the end of those. Those were all from Noctex Antiquities palette, which I really liked as a palette. Here's the plum shade. I think this is a Pat McGrath depot. I don't care. These are all depots from Natasha Denona, whether it was the Mickey Love or the Metropolis palette. I don't need them. That's okay. I'll be okay without them. I haven't reached for most of these shades at all this year, so I'm just trying to be very realistic with myself. This is probably a Pat McGrath depot, and it looks like it's a duochrome. I didn't like the way that that even picked up in a swatch. This also could be old as rocks at this point. I have no idea when it's from, so I'm just going to get rid of that. This is the shade Mocha Twilight from Terra Moons. I don't buy from Terra Moons anymore. That's what Reddit's for. You can Google, you can find out what their history is. This was sent to me by my friend Ananda. This is definitely a color that I like wearing, and I think I would like to keep this shade around because I think that this is something that I would use if I kept it. So I'm going to put that up there. I need soon I'll have an empty case. This is probably also a Pat McGrath depot. I would guess from one of her 6-pans if I really had to guess. If you recall those 6-pan palettes that opened like a book, sort of. I don't need it. That's not kind of the colors I wear. This is Pale Fire from Pat McGrath, and I actually do really like this shade. It's just like an interesting pinky orange shift. Actually, I don't need that. We're good. I liked Pale Fire for a long time, although that might not even be Pale Fire. I could be even wrong. I could be wrong about that. It's just, I did like Pale Fire. She also sold it as a single, but this was in one of the 6pm palettes. I used to be very smitten with it and think that it was like my favorite eyeshadow shade, but I just don't wear a lot of orange. Probably again, another Pat McGrath Depot. So this looks like a less enticing version and maybe more warm version of the shade from Terra Moons I decided to keep, so we can get rid of that. And then I have this sparkly black here, and I like sparkly blacks, but this is something that I feel like I have plenty of, and I have in formulas that are more modern than this one. Again, this is probably depotted from a Pat McGrath palette, so I'm going to pass on that. We have some more Natasha Denona depots. I have some from the Sunset palette. I bought that like, I don't know, in 2018. So these are really old. I actually have some good usage in a couple of these because I actually really did like that eyeshadow palette for a very long time. But I don't wear a lot of these colors anymore, so I'm just gonna get rid of those. And then the only colors to me when I like look at this lineup that I'm interested in are those shades. This burgundy kind of color is like just not my favorite kind of color to wear. I don't wear like burgundies and plums. I have other places I can get this kind of queen. And then this looks like a nice shifty duochrome color from probably the Metropolis palette, but I have something, if I am going to keep something like this, it's going to be from Cleona. So I will pass on that. All right. So this shade I recall whenever I did a big singles declutter a couple of years ago, or maybe it was last year. I remember when I first look at the shade, it's like nothing special, but then it has like these glitter chunks in it. Although now that I'm swatching it, it kind of has like the same thing that Mocha Mousse is offering, or whatever this is called, Mocha Twilight, but Mocha Twilight is better. So I'm gonna get rid of the worst version of it. If it feels like I'm rushing this section, I kind of am. This is like the part of the declutter that I'm like, I find the most daunting, which is also why I'm starting with it. This blue color, I did say, and you are right to clock, that I don't really love blue, but there's something about this denim blue color that I find pretty satisfying. So I might keep it. This is not something I have a ton of, but I might look in some eyeshadow palettes because there is a blue eyeshadow palette I plan on keeping that might have something like this. I just don't know off the top of my head. So I think I'm going to set that one aside with Mocha Twilight. And then if you're at all familiar with me, you'll know I like a gunmetal color. So that shouldn't be surprising. Let's just swatch it. Yeah, I like that. It's a little grungier than the Mocha Twilight shade, and it is more silver, but it's still kind of got yuck to it. So we'll keep that one. I like the look of those too. Yeah. Look at how metallic that is. It's almost like a mirror. I mean, it's not, but it's like very shiny. That was palette number 1. I only kept 3 shades from that palette. Here's another palette. These are all mattes, so I probably won't swatch any of these unless I feel really compelled. So I'm gonna pull aside the ones that I think I might use. So I do occasionally, every now and then, have a hot pink moment, like I want that. So I'm gonna set aside the pinks, and I'm liking the look of this purple color, this purple matte. I don't know if I have anything like that elsewhere. And yeah, I think everything else I'm going to declutter. As far as neons go, I like Bella Beauté Bar's neon formula, and I'm not sure I'm going to keep the whole palette that has a couple neons that I like in it, but these are from a Violet Voss palette I depotted, and yeah, I don't think I need to keep any of those other than maybe the pink one. And then these are from Teresa's collab. This is from her palette. I never reach for these lethal shades as individuals, and I probably wouldn't reach for that palette much if I still had it in its entirety. So I'm gonna get rid of those. No offense to Teresa, love her to death. I don't wear orange, so it's not really kind of reading as neon as it is in real life. This neon from the Radioactive palette from Melt, I don't need. We have neutrals going on up here, and I do think that they all are very different undertones. Some are more camel, some of them might even be from the camel. Was it the camel palette from Natasha Denona? Some of them even might be from that. These are all Natasha Denona shades. I don't need to keep them. I have browns everywhere. Everywhere, everywhere. I might keep this one for, I have a palette. Where is it? So I have this little empty palette from Victoria Beckham that I made. And this is like the kind of colors I like to set my eyeshadow base with, but that might be a little too dark. So actually, we'll set that one aside. I might then, though, keep this one. Yeah, that's a little too dark for setting an eyeshadow base. It's too much color. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna get rid of all of these. Okay, beautiful. We have an empty palette. I'm hoping to end up with a few of these empty because I think I'll tell you that plan whenever I get to it. I have these neons. Unfortunately, I do like the melt one better. Like, it has a little bit of a shimmer to it. I just like that pink better because it's blue based, and this one's a little bit warmer, like the one from... Okay, so we'll keep that because I do like that pink. I don't know if they still make the radioactive palette. It was a pretty good neon palette. And then, oh, that's a really pretty purple matte. Yeah, we'll keep that for now. I think I would like to have that. Here's what I'm keeping so far. We are keeping 5, which that's great considering how many we've decluttered. Okay, and then this palette here, we have Natasha Denona Depots, which is what I'll start with. And then when we get to the Cleona shades, yeah, from here on out, we're kind of like dealing with buyable single shades of eyeshadow. So I will be a little bit more thorough with how I discuss them. So let's get the Natasha Denona shades out of here. Immediately, I'm just going to remove the shades I don't feel as though I'm going to use. Okay, this shade's kind of interesting. It's kind of like an even silvery version of that denim blue color. And it's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of just like a weird tone. We'll think about that. Then we have this, which is kind of like a kind of like Solstice, but it has more of a base. It's more red. It's reading way more red. There is like a shift to a duochrome purple. I don't think I care about that. And I have Solstice, and I really like Solstice. This might actually be closer to what Solstice offers. Oh, that's like almost a topper. There's almost no base pigment to that. Okay, I do like that one. We'll keep that one. Probably not going to use this type of purple, so we'll skip on that. And then this is interesting enough, I think, to swatch. It's kind of like almost like a purple taupe. Very bruisey. I do like that. We'll keep that one. Oh, no, I won't wear that one. It's kind of warm. This looks very similar to the one I just swatched. Like a warm taupe. You know what this kind of reminds me of? Is it Elephant from Chantecaille? But Elephant has a little bit of sparkle in it. And I think, I'm going to reach for Elephant over that. So I don't think I need that. This is looking in the same vein. It's a little green. Yeah, these are from like the Natasha Denona 28 pan palettes. And like, there was like this one of the palettes had like this series of taupes with different undertones. That's kind of cool, but I have Rhino, which is again sparklier, less green too, but still green. But I like that shade. And then I think these 3 are swatchable. Like, I think I'd like to swatch all 3 of these. This looks to just be a straight silver. Very nice. I'll keep that. I do like a silver. I don't wear it like a ton, and I do find that like silvers and palettes always have some kind of shift, but that seems really right down the middle. Like, there's not sparkle in it either. It's just metallic. And then this one, I don't know really what's going on with this one. Maybe a little more like Elephant, you know? It's also maybe a little more shiny. No, they're both shiny. Might be like a little bit of blue in it. Maybe that's why I'm like feeling Elephant. But it almost looks more, see, this one looks almost like in the camera, almost more silver than the silver. But in real life, this looks way more like of a true silver. That's interesting. I don't know that they're different enough for me to need both, and I do think I like the brighter of the two, but that's very cool. But I don't think I need it. Then we have this. I'm not really sure. I think this is going to be like a highlighter shade. I remember really liking it. Yeah, I don't need that. Okay, we're good. I don't know. I think I like that more than I think I actually do. Like right now, I think I like it. But I don't know. I don't think I would ever use that if I kept it. So I don't think we need it. We'll pass that along. I know we were working out of that palette, but I have some shades in here that are depots that I would like to discuss before we start really getting into like every single shade. This is from a Pat McGrath palette. This is from one of her 6 pans. I can pass on that. We'll come back to that one. Here's Pale Fire. Let's see if it has... Yeah. I like it because it's kind of almost like a highlighter. It's kind of like a wet sheen. I do think I want to keep it. I have like an affinity for it for some reason. I just like it. I don't know, like it's like I just like really like it. These warmer shades I'm gonna just pass on. I don't think I'm gonna keep any of the ones from Teresa's collab with Lethal. Again, love her to death, but I've just never used those. It's probably also depotted from a Pat McGrath palette. I don't need it. This is from Pat McGrath. This is actually, she just remarketed this. It's the Baked Gold shade, but I scraped mine out and pressed it. It worked, by the way, in case you do want to do that, if you buy it, to put it in a pan. It's a very pretty gold. Very pretty gold. I don't wear a lot of gold, but like, this is like one of the oldest things in my makeup collection. It's been like mutated into this pan, but I do still, I don't know. I like it for some reason. Like I don't know. I never wear it though. It's gold. I'm not gonna wear it. I'm not gonna wear it. I need to be honest with myself. I think this is from an Olivia Palermo palette. It's just a pretty shimmery beige. I don't think I need that. We can pass that along. Keep it going, keep it rolling. Then this is the like Astral Blue pigment from Pat McGrath. It's in one of her, it's in the first eyeshadow palette, like the Subversive or whatever. I do like this. I do like it. Okay, I think I'm gonna keep that. I don't keep a ton of Pat McGrath stuff around, so yeah, I like the wet look of that. It's really pretty. My hand is starting to get stained different colors. We're not getting like the truest swatches. But I'm trying my best. At least will give you an idea in case you were interested in seeing them swatch. But no, if you've seen anything that I've decluttered that you're like, I wish you would have swatched that, that's business for you and yourself. Keep it to yourself. This is also from the Olivia Palermo palette, and I actually really like this one. Because it's like a sparkly beige. Oh no, now that I'm swatching it, it looks way darker and way less special. So no, I don't know. I don't think I like that. There is sparkle in it though. Like if you shear it out, there's like sparkle particles, but I don't think that's special enough to keep. Okay. We have this sparkly blue. I do kind of like that, but is it special enough? I don't know. You know what, kind of like, I have a palette from Bella Beauté Bar with a bunch of like shimmery blues in it, and like this is kind of like a matte blue that has like silver sparkles in it. I don't know if it's like really registering on camera. The sparkle at least. It is really pretty. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know. We'll set that aside. I feel like I'm undecided. And then we have another sparkly black from Olivia Palermo. Okay, I definitely have better sparkly blacks, so we'll just keep that one moving along. Then there's this purple shade from Pat McGrath. Oh, it's very crumbly. It's old. She's old. Why did I remember this being sparklier? Maybe I'm confusing this. It's really pretty. It is really pretty. It's very purple. I think I'm confusing it with, she had a single shade that was like purple and sparkly that I got rid of, I think, already. Okay, I don't need that. We're gonna do these one at a time, just by vibe. All of these, I think, are things that you can still buy from these brands. This is from Odin's Eye. This is the shade Chloe. Do they still sell these singles? This was sent to me by Ananda as well. We have a little bit of purple staining, but this will look pretty over top of it. What do you look like on your own? Yeah, that's definitely up my speed. I'll say when we're looking at these more special shades coming up, I do tend to like sheer things that make my eyes look watery, or I actually like really big sparkle particles. So I do like that. I'm gonna set it aside for now. I don't know, I really do kind of like that. Although that's a more true, the sheer. That purple is from the Pat McGrath shade. Okay, we're gonna have to switch to wrist because that's stained enough. So this is Archway from Cliona, and this, you can pry it on my cold dead hands. It is gold, which I have said thus far. I don't love gold eyeshadow, but this is a very, I think, special kind of gold. There's purple in here, and it just, the contrast of the purple with the yellow gold is so special. Hopefully you're catching the shift. It's like purple here, and then when I shift it, you can see the gold. I just think it's such a really beautiful shade. I was watching a short from the content creator Rainier. She's on YouTube and she's on Instagram, and she was wearing this, and I was like, I'm running, and I did, and I bought it. I haven't used it as much as I'd like. What we're doing here is trying to make sure that I only have things that I will want to use and then will actually follow up. So we're just gonna stick with Cliona and rectangular things. This is also from Cliona. This is the shade Opulent. This is kind of like purple with a green shift. Really pretty. I like that one. I'm gonna set it aside. And I'm gonna do a couple swatches going down my wrist just to save myself from having to wipe off my wrist every time. I have a couple gimmies here. This is Torch. This is really pretty. It is really pretty. It's like this pinky red, and then there's also the shift to orange. I just am not, I'm not gonna wear that. Like, it's just, I'm just not gonna wear it. Similarly, this is the shade Kiln. Very cool duochrome from like that orange, red, green. Very pretty. I'm not gonna wear it. Okay, those might have been the last two true gimmies from Cliona. Maybe this one. Oh no, this is the shade Weld, which I've always had like an affinity for. I like the flips. It's not a glitter multichrome. From Cliona, I tend to like their more glittery shades. It's kind of like a, there is like a shift, but it's very slight, and it's more sparkly than the last shade I swatched. I always thought Weld was like my favorite. I did like a short with it forever ago, like for years and years ago, before the scalloped wall background. I don't think I have it in me. I don't think I want to wear it. But I also really loved it when I was more into those tones, and I just am less into those tones, and I just don't think I need like single eyeshadows for that. This is the shade Blaze. This one took quite the tumble whenever I had that happen years ago, if you were here. Yeah, I don't need that. It's pretty. I don't need it. This is Bloodline. That's very pretty. It's like kind of as if Opulent, which I swatched earlier, had a bit of a base to it. That's really pretty. It's reminding me of Solstice from Urban Decay. So I'm gonna set that one aside because I like the shifts in that one. I like the purple. Something that looks kind of similar. We have the shade Corrosion. Oh, I do like that. It's very wet looking. It is very green, but like, I don't know. You know what? I don't like it as much as Opulent, which is also something I'm considering keeping, and I don't like it as much as Bloodline. So I think for that, I'm gonna pass on it. I don't know that I would ever like choose this, but like I think sheared out as a topper. Very pretty, in case that's something that you're interested in. This is Ornamental from Cliona. Yeah, I don't care about that. This is Foiling. You can clearly tell that there was an era, wasn't there? Yeah, I don't really care about that, so we will pass on that. Anil. Very cool purple, green beetle shift. I'm not really into like full opacity multichromes like this anymore. Very cool, but not my thing right now. But I do think Cliona is like the daddy, you know, of all of that. Here we have Carving. That's pretty, but it's not giving special. So we'll pass on that. Like, it just doesn't give me, it has that wet look, but it's not giving me like the excitement that the two that I've set aside so far to keep from Cliona are. Yeah, I just like don't care about that. This is Grisaille. That's making me feel a little bit more, but this is actually something that I think Tiff would really like. So I'm gonna set that aside because I think that they would like that more than I would ever wear it. So That's gonna be for them. This is Courtyard. Okay, yeah, pretty. I'm not really caring about it. Ripple. Very pretty, but also not for me. This is CL. Again, very pretty. I'm not gonna wear that though. Crown Jewel. Ooh, very pretty, but I'm not wearing blues like that, so that can go. I'm running out of room in my declutter palette. I don't know if they've made this a permanent shade. Cleona did like a couple quads last year, and this was PR I got when I went to Palm Springs. And I think they did eventually sell it. So I don't know if the shade has like a name now, but it doesn't as far as I know. Ooh. Just look at that texturally from the other two. Very pretty. Kind of has like confetti colors in it too, like a little bit of a multicolor situation happening. Kind of see it on my finger too. I don't care about that. So it can go. Same situation with this shade right here. Very pretty looking so far. Okay, I do like that one. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's not sparkly like I typically tend to like my eyeshadows to be, but I really like that color, and I don't know that I have anything else like that color. It is like a purple blue shift, but it's like the finish of it's really beautiful. Okay, we'll set that aside. This is enamel. Yeah, pretty, but not necessary. This is emboss. Very pretty, very wet looking, but I don't need it. Me from 2020 when I bought all of these, crying. This is the shade Spotlight. Wow, that's really interesting. I might keep that one. Again, I have like well, there's another hot pink. I might like this one better. This came from that quad I was mentioning. Yeah, I think I like the second one from the quad a little bit better. It's kind of like the amped up version of Spotlight. So I'm gonna set that one aside to keep. And then I'm going to pass on Spotlight. Cleona shades get everywhere. They're so soft. This one's calling my eyes. This is Gilding. I remember this name, so I'm, oof. Chunky. I don't mind chunky, really. But yeah, I don't think I need to keep that. That might be one of their iridescent ones. I was talking to a couple people at the Catskills, and Cleona recently released a topper palette, and basically everyone who has that topper palette says it's much better than these old topper formulas I have. So I would say, like, if you were eyeing Cleona and you like that kind of topper thing, I don't think any of the shades I have would read the way you would want them to. This is Light Fast. I think I got this as PR when I went to the Vegas party a couple years ago from Creator and Friends. Oh, that is really pretty. It's like, yeah, very wet looking, very sheer. Okay, I do like that one. Wish there was like more sparkle in it. You can also tell like the pan stickers are different. This is a newer one. Unlike this one's old. It has a white sticker. We'll just swatch it. What's the shade? Orchid? Glazed. Glazed. Don't worry. Don't mind me. Chunky. I like that though. It is really chunky though. The formula feels weird. But like, I like that ghostly shine. It kind of reminds me of Flora from Ritual de Fille. This is Glimmer. It's like the toned down version of the last shade I swatched. I'm gonna pass on that. Then this is also from that quad I've been mentioning. I had two of the quads at some point. Very chunky. This is a lot of different sparkles in it. I don't really like this whole a bunch of different sparkles, but I do like this one. I've worn it on my eyes a couple of times. Yeah, I just don't like how thick it was to swatch. Maybe I don't like that. I think it's like, no, I think when you look at, see when the light catches it there, I really like it. But it's like when there's more light on it, maybe I do like it. We'll set it aside. This is Throne. I'm not wearing a lot of yellow. We'll pass on that. This is my very last Cliona shade, and it is Translucency. I think I remember liking this one. Yeah, it's like that ballet pink shift blue-ish. Not a strong shift though. I'm not feeling wowed by it. Like this, like when you look at these old formulas, and they also just are old physically, like they're aged full, like they've been in my life for 5 years, which is half a decade, which is quite a while, which I know we all, you know, play fast and loose with how long we let things sit in our makeup collection. Just like look at how different this and thinner this formula is compared to the other ones. So I'm gonna pass on that. And yeah, so I kept, I'm gonna go through my round single shades before we like do one more pass on my like single shades that I'm keeping. But yeah, so far, if I were to keep all of the ones from Cliona, if I keep all of them, which I'm not even saying that I am going to, I would be keeping 8. And I got rid of a ton. So I'm gonna zoom you back out because I actually need to go get another one. There's some room in this one, but I just want to show you. This is all I've decluttered so far, and we still have some more to go. So I have another one of these big ADEPT palettes. I'm gonna go get it and we'll start filling that one. So now we're into some round pans. I will tell you what brand they're from. This is from Bella Beauté Bar. This is the shade Rosy Glam. I think they sell this as like a cheek highlighter, like a face shade. Very pretty. It would be pretty on the eyes. I don't need it. That was PR. Anything from Bella Beauté Bar is PR. Okay, so then this is my favorite eyeshadow shade ever, or one of them. Definitely one of them. It might be my favorite. This is Skin of a Killer from Bella Beauté Bar. This is in their Vamp palette. They've sold it as a single before. Super beautiful. I see a little bit of maybe blue leaning silver. Very wet looking. I mean, also that shade's quite wet looking, but I love Skin of a Killer. And then I'm gonna just put that right in there because it's my fave. And then while we're here, because I've mentioned it before on my channel, and I would wear this as a single eyeshadow too, this is their Skin of a Killer highlighter, and it's not the same thing. A lot of similar aspects, but the shimmers are a lot smaller and is like designed to be worn on the cheek. But I just want to show you the difference in them. This is from Shine by SD. This is another one of my favorite shades. This is the shade Ice Blink. Kind of like Skin of a Killer, but with like a bluish hue. Very sparkly. Very pretty. I'm gonna keep that too. I also have like, I feel like memories tied to Skin of a Killer. It was like the first single eyeshadow in a long time that I like really fell in love with. So I really appreciate it for that. This is from Shine by SD. It's the shade Nacre. I don't know if these are still available. They were collabs with Seeking Shifts, who doesn't really post anymore. Riley doesn't really post anymore. This has a lot more sparkle in it, and it is a little green. I probably won't keep Nacre. I don't like that green hue to it. I would prefer like a blue hue or a purple hue if we're gonna do this sort of thing. But Skin of a Killer is still the one. Look at how wet it looks compared to the others. This is Fogbow from that collection from Shine by SD and Riley. Very pretty. That one has like a pink green shift, like pinky orange shift. I really like Skin of a Killer. It's like this, Skin of a Killer is just like, I love it so much. I'm not feeling as drawn to this one. Okay, I think that's just a sign that it can find a new home. Again, from that collection, this might be the last one from that collection. This is the shade Alpenglow. Yeah, I don't think I need that one either. Still working out of that Riley X Shine by SD collab. And this is the shade Crown Flash. I do like the finish of that one. It looks more wet than the other ones we're looking. It is. It's kind of like a champagne. Like champagne Yeah, I kind of like that. I'm gonna set it aside though. I'm like not feeling really compelled by it, but I do really like the finish of it. I could see certain situations in which I would want to wear that. This is Velvet Glam from Bella Beauty Bar. This was PR. Ooh, wow. That is very pretty. I don't think I would wear it though. Okay. This is from Glam & Natrix, and this is the shade Bonnet. It's looking like some of the Cliona shades I set aside to reconsider, but like, I don't know. See how it's, I don't know how to describe, like, look, I like that sparkly finish, but I wouldn't describe the, I guess this would be like, it's like a sheer satin, like baby pink. I don't know. And it's an interesting color. I don't know. I'm like, it kind of like has like a warm flip to it. If it was a cooler flip, I think I would like it more, but it is really interesting. I really like it, but I don't think I need to keep it just because I like the way it looks. This is Mink from Glam & Natrix Cosmetics. I did buy this as well. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like kind of like the sparklier version of one of the Natasha Denona shades I kept. It has like that taupey purple. Oh, this shade's really cool. This is the shade Blood Moon from Terra Moons. It's this really, I'm going to swatch it on my wrist because I know it will stain. Really dark, red, black, shifty multi-chrome. Very cool, but I wouldn't wear that. If they, I don't know, I've never seen, I would love to see like a dark shift to a different color. It's very interesting, very beautiful. This is from Bella Beauty Bar. This is the shade Iconic Glam. This was PR. I'm sorry, I swatched out a frame. It's pretty, I don't need it. This is from Sydney Grace. This is their shade New Moon. Look at how covered it sparkles. Sorry. Absolutely am covered in. Just like a very basic gunmetal gray. This was received at the Vegas event I went to a couple years ago. Yeah, it's kind of maybe like a green gray, very slightly greenish gray. Guys, I'm so excited. There's only two more. There's only two more. This is Moontide from Terra Moons. Very pretty blue purple shift. I can pass on that. And then this is Terra Borealis, which is, I think, my favorite shade I tried from Terra Moons. It's very Solstice-esque as well, but it has like a little more of a sparkly situation going on, but I don't think I need it. It's not feeling, it's like very beautiful and wet looking, but I do like Solstice. I do think I like Solstice better. So I'm gonna pass on that. Let's see, just looking at them, is there anything that jumps out that I like feel like I don't want? I just love looking at this one, but I don't think I'll wear it too much. So I'm gonna let that one go. I do think Crown Flash is interesting and I would like to play with that some more. I'm gonna just watch this next one of Natasha Denona, so I'm gonna set it aside again. I really liked the finish of this Odin's Eye shade, so I'm gonna keep it. Again, that's the shade Chloe. I really like Bloodline. I'm gonna keep that one. That one's resonating as one I would like to keep. I'm gonna keep the two from that little quad. I think I really liked those ones. I think I need to revisit this one. This one's Glazed from Cliona. Yeah, remember we just swatched that other shade that looks very similar to this, and I did like it, but that one leaned a little more warm. This one's a little more pearlescent, so I'm gonna keep that one. I think it's pretty. And then I really liked Opulent too. If I remember, this was like sheer. Oh no, it did some of that. Yeah, I like that too. Gorge. I don't know why I have like an affinity for this hot pink thing, but I'm gonna keep it every now and then. Every now and then I want it. And I feel like I don't have a lot of like, I'm trying to think of like all of the eyeshadow palettes that are in my like testing drawer right now. I don't think anything has that like kind of hot pink thing going on. And I think there's an eyeshadow palette that I have that I think I'm going to declutter that has a shade like that that I really like. But I also, I don't know. We'll see whenever it comes to the eyeshadow palettes, because there might be, I might steal shades that I really like, but we'll see. I might not either, because also after being someone who tried depotting eyeshadow shades, like a lot of the ones you saw here, it didn't really lead to a more successful usage, except for a couple of shades that were like truly standout shades. So let's swatch Light Fast again, just to refresh my memory. Yeah, I really like that. It's pretty. Okay, let's do a quick swatch comparison between this and the one Natasha Denona shade. Okay, yeah, they're quite different. That's Mink. Yeah, I would say those are different enough. I mean, really zoomed out, no, I don't need all 4 of them, but I'm gonna keep that one because I do like it, and I feel like I bought it and I don't even know if it's ever made it on my eyes. So we'll keep that. That's the one I kept. I'm keeping 23 eyeshadows from my singles collection. And then according to the quick count I just did, I am decluttering 107 eyeshadows. I feel really good about that. This feels like much more manageable to me. Obviously, it's much more manageable to me. This is also something to consider. These were like in eyeshadow palettes. Not all of these were bought individually. Like most of like this bottom portion was bought individually, if not received in PR. And that's something also to keep in mind. I didn't build this collection of singles in one go. And also keep in mind that like whenever you have eyeshadow palettes, there's like this many eyeshadows inside of them, even if you have like 6 of them. So that's also something to consider as well. But I feel very accomplished, and this took a really long time, but we did it. And if I ever do a singles eyeshadow declutter again, it shouldn't be much bigger than this if I keep some additional ones. So very pleased. I have 15 eyeshadow palettes. They don't all fit on screen, so we're just gonna attack them one at a time. Unlike the single shadows, I'm not gonna like swatch every single shade in every single palette. I don't find that that's always helpful for me when I'm making decisions. There are a few that I definitely want to touch and kind of get my hands in just to feel how old they are, to see if they're still feeling good, and kind of going from there. I'm gonna start with some palettes that are just easy yeses. These are things I'm definitely not gonna declutter. They were never really in the running to be decluttered. I'll explain why. They're just like something I don't really declutter. This is a new to me this year eyeshadow palette. This is the Prada eyeshadow quad in the shade Primula. And it is this warm palette. I bought this when I was on a trip with Cam in Chicago earlier this summer, and I really like it, but we both bought one, and it's kind of like a thing we bought together, our little keepsake. So I probably will never declutter this, but I've actually worn this a lot more than I expected to when I bought it. So I'm very pleased with that. This just came back into my life. This is the Rowan 1111 quad, and this is something I had before decluttered, and then I went and repurchased again because I missed it so much. So yeah, I don't really feel so inclined to declutter this right now. And yeah, it's fresh, and I've already done a couple looks with it, and I remembered why I missed it. So I'm happy to have this again. This is technically 2 different eyeshadow palettes, but I depotted them, but I keep them together. These are both of the Hindash eyeshadow palettes. We have the Hindash Monochromance and Beautopsy. They're kind of like mixed together. They're not really separated by palette. I just made my own jumbo palette. This is my favorite eyeshadow palette to take apart and take with me on trips. It's very versatile. The pans are really big, so I can use them as face shades too. I mostly use them on the eyes, but whenever I travel, I will take like a shade for bronzer, I'll take a shade for blush, and then I will also use it as eyeshadows. And then I just take a couple of like shimmery shades, and that's usually what I take to travel. I don't normally travel with whole eyeshadow palettes, so I really like this. It's just very utilitarian when it comes to the makeup I keep. And then this is the last definite keep. This is from Bella Beauté Bar. This is the Poison Garden palette, and I did receive this in PR. This is not really like my usual color story when it comes to things, but this is my favorite eyeshadow palette I tried last year. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of colors, a lot of textures, but every look I made with this eyeshadow palette was really a knockout, and it's very special. When I received it, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but last year it just really stole my heart, and I would like to keep it because I have fond memories of it. And that's kind of it for like definite keeps. We're gonna talk through a little bit more each other one. This is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette. This is the original, and I love it. I really do. I haven't used it much this year, but you can see I have some dips from the previous years. I really like this. This is definitely like my favorite kind of like neutral eyeshadow palette go-to. I'm so very rarely going beyond the set of drawers that has my single eyeshadows in it to choose eye products. So I'm hoping whenever I'm done with my declutter this year, I can kind of like set up things where where all my eyeshadows, even my single eyeshadows, are all in one place, in one drawer. So I'm opening up to maybe choose this. So I really like the formula in here. It's my favorite easy eyeshadow palette. You can't really do anything wrong with it. Like, all the shades go together. There's nothing complicated about it. And that can be a real luxury sometimes, especially when you don't know what kind of makeup you want to do. This is something that I'm not 100% sure is going to make it through this declutter, but I do love it. This is the Beautyverse palette from Charlotte Tilbury. This was their holiday release a couple of years ago. I love every look I do with it, but my eyeshadow palettes in general just languish because I just very rarely choose to use them. But I really like the topper shades in here. It's kind of like if Ethereal Eyes had some color in it. Not a ton, just a little bit. I really like these two shades and this shade right here. And I actually really like this matte formula, and I really wish Charlotte would consider making a full palette of mattes with this formula. I think it's her best formula. It's also, I think, maybe my favorite eyeshadow formula matte I've ever tried. They're very easy to use. They almost feel like creams to the touch. They blend like creams on the eyes, but have the staying power of powder, and I really appreciate that about them. I wish these were a little bit cooler. That's really more my jam. That's really where I run into issues with, kind of with both of these palettes. This reads more neutral on me, but these can read a little bit warm if I'm not paying attention, and that will pull a little warm on me. And then these, even though they look warm, they just pull even warmer on my skin. But I just like the shimmers, and you know, I was really hemming and hawing whenever I first got this, like the warm and the cool tones together, but I really kind of have learned to love it. I really like this eyeshadow palette every time I use it. So I'm gonna just set it aside to see if I like have lingering feelings about it. My gut tells me I would like to keep it because this is more realistic about like the eyeshadows that I like wearing on a regular basis if I am choosing to wear an eyeshadow palette. This is also from Bella Beauté Bar. This is also PR, and this is the Velma Fairies palette, which they did with Sassy Fairy. And I love this, but I also don't wear blues very often. But I also try to keep in mind I'm allowed to have eyeshadow palettes also that I know I'm not going to use a lot. I just decluttered a lot of my single eyeshadows, which would encompass a lot of what we have here. I really like the matte tones in here. Those are matte tones I could wear with anything, and I wouldn't even need to like choose these particular shimmers. Although these are really nice and icy and very cool. I like the looks that I've done with it, so I'm going to keep it around. I very rarely choose to do blue, but I think this is just going to be the best version of this kind of blue, icy, pale thing that I could find. So I'm gonna keep this. This is my Viseart Grand Pro 1X palette. Some of these shades are missing. Some of them have been used up, and then the other ones are still here. Now, when I bought this eyeshadow palette, I had intentions of utilizing this as like things I could depot and move around when I made my own eyeshadow palette color stories. I don't really do that. I've moved away from that. It's not something that I find great pleasure in. I found that it was a very useful tool whenever I was really trying to consume less. But over the years, eyeshadow palettes, which I feel like is the thing that I would consume the most whenever I was consuming the most, like just spending the most on makeup. Eyeshadow palettes were the covetable thing, the thing that everyone was after, the thing that people were buying and reviewing and talking about all the time. And I do think this is really helpful in me trying to divert like buying everything. But another palette that I use really similarly is the Hindash eyeshadows, and I really love Viseart mattes. These are also, I think, from 2020. The Hindash eyeshadows, they're from a couple different eras, so a couple different years. I'm not sure if they're past their prime, but I'm not sure I'm getting the most out of it. I have a couple of friends who really like Viseart eyeshadows. I'm not sure if like Cam would want to take this off my hands, but I don't think I need this anymore. I also think by getting rid of this, it opens up the opportunity for me to get another VICIOUS eyeshadow palette, one that speaks to me a little bit more. This is a very like utilitarian thing that I don't think a lot of people need in their life. It's just really big, and whenever I was really lusting after eyeshadow palettes, it was helpful in that way, but it's just not really where I'm at. I think VICIOUS matte eyeshadows are some of the best around, but I think I'm okay like letting this go, especially since I have like the Hindash ones to fall back on, and those are even more utilitarian than what this can provide. So I feel really sad about it, but I think this has served its purpose in my life, so I think it's okay to move on with it and let someone else have it. I think this is also something I kind of consider a definite keep. I busted up and rearranged a bunch of my Pat McGrath eyeshadows, and this is all of the eyeshadows that remain from Pat McGrath in my makeup collection. She needs cleaned up a bit. I do love her. Look at how foggy the window is. The mirror is. It's like quite the mess. Okay, so I am going to keep this because I did this on purpose. Although I'm seeing these denim shades over here. I did keep that one Natasha Denona shade. They are different. This is the Natasha Denona shade, and these are the two Pat McGrath shades. So I don't think I need to declutter the Natasha Denona shade. I do very rarely choose to use any of these. I should have just decluttered my Pat McGrath palettes as whole palettes. I really like these shades, but I don't know. Again, I so rarely am choosing to reach for my eyeshadow palettes. This list is my eyeshadow palettes, but I did like customize it. It's one of those things where it's just like, I don't know, I'm like proud of, it's kind of like a symbol of like, I'm proud of breaking my habits as a fan of a brand. It like broke my collector's habit. Like there's so much about this. Like it's kind of like the ultimate showing that like I had like beat it, kind of like it's like my trophy for that, which is so weird and kind of like lame to say, but it really is true. Like I was buying everything Pat McGrath put out for the longest time, and then I was holding on to them as if they had some kind of like prestige. And then we've seen what's gone on with the brand. We've seen what Pat McGrath has chosen to do and represent herself with the brand as, and doing the whole Louis Vuitton thing. It kind of was a bad taste in my mouth. I still love these eyeshadows. Like I don't want anyone to get it wrong. I do really like these eyeshadows. I feel like I want to keep it just because of what it is, but I don't really use it. We'll debate that one in a minute. This is from Glaminatrix. This was a holiday palette they released a couple of years ago. This was something I purchased. They send me PR now. I really like the textures in here. I very rarely like use this as a palette, but I just like the finishes in here, and I really like the shade Presence. There's a couple other good shades in here. They have a hollow chrome in here, which I don't really like love, which is like this shade Cracker. Yeah, I like this finish a lot. It's very pretty and I like it, so I will keep that. It's also nice and small and compact. This is from Bella Beauté Bar. This was PR. This is their recently de-influenced palette. This palette is really gorgeous, and every time I do a look with it, it's really, really pretty. And I will say, I feel like I have some of this in the Poison Garden palette. You know, it's not exactly complete overlap at all. We have, you know, some different colors in here. This also has a lot more warmth to it than this, and I just am not wearing a ton of warm things. Again, I really like the quality, and I really think it's a really beautiful eyeshadow palette. I would reach for this even less than I would reach for the Realm of Fairies palette, which is also something I'm not going to use a lot. And I do hold space for the fact that like not every eyeshadow palette I have needs to be completely utilitarian, but I just know in my heart that like the joy I get out of using this palette could be amplified by someone else having it. So I'm just going to let that person have it. And I just don't feel as though this needs to stick around with me. Oh boy. Okay, so this is the Isamaya Industrial 1 palette. It now looks a lot different, but mine even looks different because I ripped off the top. And here's what mine looks like. And wow, it really sure looks like I get my grubby hands in there all the time. There's a lot of swatches and thick, you know, just like dips in some of them, but I don't really use it all of that much. And I gotta tell you, I really don't have intentions of really ever using it more. I think it's pretty, like I do, and I think it's very cool. And yeah, as I've said so many times on this channel, like the brand just kind of leaves a yucky taste in my mouth. There's nothing wrong with them. I don't think that there's any reason you shouldn't buy from them or anything like that. I don't know. I just think the brand is really uncool. I mean, there's so many uncool brands, but this was a brand I really believed in, and then they were uncool, and then I felt really weird, and I felt bad about that because it felt like history could have really repeated itself with this brand, but then it didn't. But I don't use it, and I'm not gonna, and it could go away. This is the newer version of the Smoky Glam palette from Bella Beauté Bar. This was received in PR. are. I really think this is very pretty. Unfortunately, this is the newer version of it. There was another version that had kind of like smoky greens and smoky blacks in it, and I did like that option a little bit more. These are really pretty colors. I think these are really usable. I do like some of the eyeshadows in here quite a bit. I would want more like neutral stuff around this, like more browns, but like I really like this bottom. This bottom row is very on brand for me, and I really love the shade Hypnotic. I pulled this out a couple of times just to use that shade because it's really pretty. I would swatch it for you, but it really stains. It really, really stains. Very pretty. I just don't think it's special enough for me to keep around, unique enough for me to keep around. So I think that's okay. And it doesn't bring me the same joy that the uniqueness that I feel when I use Poison Garden. And not that I only have to keep one Bella Beauté bar palette or like try to keep that to a minimum. I just am really at this point where I just am trying to be very realistic about what I want to use and what I will want to use. And I really think I won't miss the Silky Glam palette. Then we have the Unoriginal Nudes from Bella Beauté Bar, and this was sent to me in PR as well. We're kind of at a dilemma here because I also really like this palette, but again, it really serves the same purpose as Ethereal Eyes does, and honestly, like the Charlotte Tilbury. These are all kind of like same thing, right? Like they're kind of same. This is just the kind of eyeshadow looks that I'm more into and I like to wear. I like the textures in all of these palettes. They're all very different. These are like really wet look shines. These have a little more sparkle razzle dazzle to them, and these are like the most intensified version of that. But it does feel like a lot of overlap. But if I'm being real with myself, like this is like the Bella Beauté Bar palette I would definitely like use the most. So I think I do want to keep this. The only problem with the Bella Beauté Bar palettes that are this size, I put them in my drawers, and I like to put my eyeshadow palettes like this in my drawer because you kind of read them like a book, right? You can kind of just like this. But the drawers that I have are not tall enough for them to sit like this. So then I place them like this. Well, what happens whenever I place them like this, they slide around. So when I shut the drawer, they get pushed back to the back of the drawer. And you know how there's every drawer, there's like that portion of the drawer that doesn't come all the way out. These normally end up sitting back there. In a drawer I already very rarely utilize, these kinds of palettes scooch to the back. So I don't really like this size. I could really utilitarian down, find something smaller to put these in and keep them all together as a palette. But these are magnetic, and I could just like find something or like put them in an empty one of these, which is something that I might consider. I'm not sure I'm like at that level of commitment to that yet, but we will see. I'm really trying to make sure my eyeshadow palette collection works for me and all of my makeup works for me, considering I will probably receive PR in the future from brands, and considering that I hope my channel keeps growing and I do want to keep reviewing makeup because I like reviewing makeup. If that keeps happening, then my makeup collection, the way it is right now before this declutter, is not functional. So if I find that I really want to try that, I will, but I might also just like keep this around, this outer packaging, and then that way if that doesn't end up working or I decide to declutter that palette, I can just put all the shades back in and give it to someone if that's what I choose to do. The gold palette from Natasha Denona. So I bought this whenever I did my no buy in 2021, and that was like really the beginning of my channel. And at the time, these yucky gold rusty colors were so my vibe, but I gotta tell you, it just isn't where I'm at. So I really do think that I should consider decluttering it. But I do really like Sparks and Kava, and you can see that both of those shades have quite the dip in them. In theory, I could depot them and it wouldn't mean anything, but then I really couldn't pass it on. I know this is a really highly coveted palette by people, but I wouldn't sell it on Mercari. It's like a little too old for me to feel comfortable doing that. It's also, I think, a little more used than something I would probably want to sell on Mercari, or like if I even did that. I like don't do that because I'm lazy, and I would rather just give it to a friend who will take it right out of my hands. I think I'm gonna steal Sparks and Kava. Well, let me swatch them. I haven't used them in a while, but they are that beautiful thing that I like, that just wet, yeah, that wet look sparkle. I don't know that these are like the best version of this anymore. You know what? They aren't. they aren't really the best of that. I like them for what they are, but there are so many things I could replace them with in shades that I like better. They both have a little bit of gold in them, and I don't wear a lot of gold. And yeah, I think I would rather just give this to someone who will, I think, be excited to receive the gold palette. And it knocks the last Natasha Denona palette out of my collection, which is great. For those of you who don't know, I don't really buy from Natasha Denona anymore, and you can Google that too. That's the great thing, is most of these people's controversies and what they're up to and what they do and their beliefs are findable. Feels very, like, not gossipy of me, but I don't want to be your moral compass. You make that decision if that bothers you, the things you find. Back to this. You know what I think I'm going to do with this? Let's see. See, that's actually much more what I'm looking for when I'm looking for that kind of topper thing. And we have like a couple of them. And I also have like a greenish gold one there. So yeah, I think this is a better iteration of toppers for me. So yeah, I was thinking I might retire this. I do have a little like collection of stuff that I don't use anymore, but like I like to keep. But I do think I want to keep this in my drawers. I think that we can maybe find life in this. Going back and revisiting the Charlotte Tilbury palette, I think I want to keep it. This sparks more joy than some of the other eyeshadow palettes I've chosen to keep. So I think I want to keep that. I'm decluttering 5 eyeshadow palettes, and I'm keeping 10. I guess I don't really consider these eyeshadow palettes because they like live in a different place. They live with my single shadows and will probably get more play because of that. And that's probably why that Prada eyeshadow palette has gotten more play. So like these would be the eyeshadow palettes that like live in that drawer where everything's like too big. And I'm just like kind of thinking, because I do still have to do my reckoning for the end of the year. And I'm filming this in mid-November, and you might be seeing it in mid-November or like mid to late November. I don't know when I'm posting this. I'm just filming it right now. I do think there are some palettes I'm interested in keeping. Maybe we'll revisit the eyeshadow palette situation in that reckoning. I feel good about it, but I don't even know what else I would get rid of, right? Like, these are technically just 6 singles that happen to be packaged in the same thing. I like really like using those two. I really like the creativity of this one and what that could provide when I feel like it. I love this color story. I feel like weird about keeping the Unoriginal Nudes palette, but it is my favorite indie brand. Essentially shot a gimme at me. They were like, this is everything you like. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, like, it's really about how much I care about redundancy, because I think sometimes in my makeup collection, I care when something's redundant, and sometimes I don't. Removing everything. Choose the Bella Beauté Bar Unoriginal Nudes palette for this sort of thing over those two. In a world probably over the Charlotte Tilbury, I would reach for the Bella Beauté Bar, but probably in the very real way, I would not choose it over this. This is my simple, easy palette. So like that's, you know, I think these maybe serve a more similar purpose. This definitely has more cool tones than this. I think right now my gut is telling me to keep it. But when we start looking at things to potentially bring in the reckoning, we could maybe see something different there. So we're still keeping the 10, technically 8, because the smaller eyeshadow palettes live in a different place. Let's now talk about my favorite category of eyeshadow. It's these singular potted things. We'll talk about eyeliners and stuff too, which are also in these containers. But this is probably the area where I will make the least amount of declutters, because this is the eyeshadow stuff that I do use the most. These are the things that I'm reaching for. They're all in the top drawer. I reach for them over and over again. Yeah, so we probably won't see much motion here, but we'll see what we do. We'll see what we can do. I don't really have any like goals about this. Like, I'm not really sitting here thinking that I really want to get rid of something. There's no like amount that I'm like really looking to get rid of. This is from Patrick Ta. This is a Franken eyeshadow duo. So I reviewed these last year when they came out. These are 2 shades from last year, like the old ones. These are my favorite 2 shades when I tried the 3 palettes, and I just put them into one. So one of them is from this palette. This is the Still at the Club, which I believe that taupe shade was in. And then that gold, I just really liked the texture of. But I think I don't need this anymore. Another thing is my duo often pops open like that. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that I actually like removed a shade and put it in another one. It just always pops out. And while I do really like that taupe shade, I think it's really pretty. I have it a dozen times over. I really don't think that they're worth the money, and I don't think it's special enough to keep. It's not like my favorite thing. And, you know, fuck Patrick Tom. This is one of 2 of the Armani eye tints I have, so there's the other one. I really do like these. This is the 167S Sparkle. So with these, I'm gonna do like a thick swatch so you can see what they look like at first. But that's not really how I would wear that. That's not how I would apply it. What's really special about this is whenever you blend it out, it is just a wet sparkle look with a bit of a champagne color. Gorgeous. Pried out of my cold dead hands. And to get it to look like this on the eye without applying a bunch of it, I either just do a little dot on the center of my lid and tap it out with my finger or a brush, or I will take a brush to the doe foot of this and pick up a little bit and sweep it on that way. And then that way I get that beautiful wet look sparkle finish that I'm almost entirely always after. And then this is the shade Frost 32S. Same thing, but this is a cooler shimmer. So that's what it looks like in a full swatch, kind of like a periwinkle sheen. You can still see the sparkle on the other part of my hand. Same thing, when you blend it out, this one's less sparkly, like has less intense sparkle as that one, but leaves you with the same wet look finish, but just maybe a little less intense and a little more cool than the 67S Sparkle. Again, proud about it, cool dead hands. This is from Trixie Cosmetics. This is one of their eyeshadow toppers. I don't know if they still sell this one because I think it was from their winter collection last year. This is in the shade Après Ski. Very similar to the Armani eye tints, although really hard to get out of there. Are we drying out maybe? No, I don't think we're drying out. Just really stuck in there. Okay, similarly, I like to apply it very similar. So here's like the thick swatch of it, and it doesn't look like a topper at all. But when you blend it out, then that's really where you get the sparkle. It looks very similar to 67S from Armani. There's different colors of sparkle, which I don't know that you're gonna really get on camera that jump out. It doesn't look like a rainbow. It's just like there's different color sparkles. There's like warm and cool sparkles in it. It's a very pretty thing. But considering I have like the luxury version of it, I'm gonna just keep that. But I do really like this formula, and if you were liking the idea of a liquid eyeshadow sparkly thing, I would give it a try if this still exists in their thing. And I think, yeah, it's really great. So I have no complaints about it. It just feels a little bit redundant, and this is one of those moments where it's like, does Tom care if it's redundant? Do they not? Sometimes I don't know the answer until I do. I have currently 3 Moondust eyeshadows. We have Diamond Dog, Space Cowboy, and Solstice. I can already tell you that Solstice is gonna stay because Solstice is my favorite of them, which was really shocking. It is a very like demure version of some of the shades that we saw in my singles collection. Anyway, I love wearing this on my eye as a single one and done. Not super sparkly, but I like the shift on it. It's weird because in the lighting I have set up right now, I mostly see the red, but whenever I usually wear it, it's mostly like purple, like you see on my finger here in the, yeah, that's what it usually looks like. I'm not really sure why I'm mostly getting red. Is that so interesting? Oh, there we go, the shift. Yeah, I really like this one. It's my favorite of the 3. And I honestly am gonna declutter the other 2. So the problem with Diamond Dog is I thought it was going to be a more cool-toned, neutral version of Lithium. Lithium has a little bit of green in it, and if you don't have an olive undertone, I find that the green really sticks out. When it comes to Space Cowboy, in my swatch, you'll be able to see how orange it is, and that's how it looks on my eye. And a lot of people like it because it is a topper for them, but that orange comes through and rings true too much for me, and I don't like it. So that's why I don't like that one. I've heard from a lot of other people that orange cast it throws is a problem for them. I think if you have even like light, I have fair skin, so like if you have light medium skin, I don't know that that reads as much as it does on people with fair high contrast skin. And there's Diamond Dog. It is pretty, but it pulls way too warm for my liking. And I also feel like it doesn't have the same amount of sparkle as even Space Cowboy. And I wish it had more silver sparkle to kind of counteract the warmth, because that is a look I really like, and we're gonna see that a lot with the coming shades. But yeah, I have no desire to keep Diamond Dog. I have 3 Shotacai eyeshadows. We have Elephant, which is a warm taupe. We have Rhino, which is a beautiful gray green, and then we also have Pangolin, which is this cool mauve color. I'm not gonna get rid of any of these. I do really like these eyeshadows. I didn't use them a ton this year, but I just recently used Rhino in a look, and I really liked it, so then it encouraged me to use the other ones in my collection in subsequent looks. So Elephant, Rhino, Pangolin. Very pretty, very sparkly, very demure, read really beautifully in low light. That's where I think they are the most magical, but you can see the sparkle coming through here. Very, very pretty. Pangolin is my least favorite of the ones that I have, but I do really like it. It can kind of read it more as a topper than the other shades if you really sheer it out. I really love the other 2 shades as well. If you want my personal opinion, Rhino in the center here is the most special one they offer at this time. And I also think that Elephant is really beautiful, but if you were looking for a cool toned taupe, it is definitely like a warmer taupe. But I definitely love this. Love pink. Love these. I have 2 Victoria Beckham lid lusters. I have Mink and I also have Tea Rose. Tea Rose was gifted to me recently. I don't know which one is which. This one's Mink. This is Mink. And Ananda, my friend, sent me Tea Rose recently. And I really do like the lid lusters, and Mink is my favorite eyeshadow shade. It has like this warm brown base with this like cool gray top. And then when you blend it out, you get some nice sparkle going. And I really like it. And I think this is the most special one that Victoria Beckham offers, but a close second is Tea Rose. And I don't think I really have any desire to own any other of the lid lusters unless they release some new shades that interest me. But the reason I like these 2 is that they have the most interesting sparkle texture of all of them, and that's what I like about them. Ugh. I need to put Mink on my eyes. Stat. Tea Rose is warmer than I'd like, but whenever you apply it very sheer and you like really blend it out, it's just like kind of like a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of something something on my skin tone, and I do like it. And I know that that's like, didn't you just get rid of Space Cowboy because it was like orange? Yes, but there's a little bit of rosy warmth in this orange, which I like. There's the finger swatches, so you can see what they look like. Sometimes I think the finger swatches also look more like what they look like on the eye than like that swatch, because it's like every time I swatch Mink, I feel like the sparkle doesn't really come through, but whenever I put Mink on my eyes, you see all the sparkles, and I just don't think whenever I do these swatches, it's like, does it really justice? Anyway, I now have the 2 lid lusters I lust, and so now I don't need any more. But love these. 10 out of 10, Mink is my favorite eyeshadow. I have both of the Dose of Colors. It's literally magic sticks. This one's Stardust, and I'm gonna swatch them pretty close next to each other. So Stardust, I'm gonna put like on closer to my palm on my thumb. And this is a multicolor sheer base sparkle. I feel like it's so hard to get the multicolor sparkles to come through. And we're not doing sparkle cam. I have other footage in other videos if you are interested, seeing what it looks like. And then I also have the shade Icy. Icy is my favorite. It does also kind of have a little bit of what I was complaining about Space Cowboy, but the sparkle on it is just undeniable. It's so pretty. Like the sparkle that's Icy, I don't know why it's called Icy. It seems like they maybe should have been called different things. I love these. I love these so much. They're such like an easy, effective way to apply sparkle on the lids. And I really love them. These are kind of like, I feel like these really kickstarted the trend of like this kind of finish for an eyeshadow stick. I think they still do it the best. I've tried a couple of the newer ones that came out this year, and I do still think I prefer these ones over them, but I also really like the other ones. I really like this sort of thing. So I'll be keeping both of those, but I really like them. So there's Stardust and then Icy, but you can see the warmth in Icy, which is confusing. And you can see how this one's sheer and just sparkle. Gorgeous. I hope Dose of Colors releases more, but I'm wondering if now that everyone's doing them, they feel like their product is maybe less special. I don't know really what happened. Like they released theirs like last year, like in the summertime, and they sold out really fast. They were really popular. And then it feels like every brand figured that out and then beat them to remaking them. Look how hard these are. These are not coming off. These are my Phytosurgeon's eyeshadows. So I have some sparkly toppers, which of course is my thing. And then I also have some real eyeshadow shades. We'll start with the sparkly toppers. I feel like the one question that I always get and everyone always gets, and I think the brand always gets, is like, what's the difference between Lunar Lightwave and Fractal Freesia? So this is Lunar Lightwave, and then this is Fractal Freesia. Fractal Freesia looks so gold, and then Lunar Lightwave looks like peachy. I don't know. I like them both. And then that is normal, like that weird hard pan. I don't have any issues like picking it up. So that's never stopped me from using them. Also, sometimes I like to apply these with a very stiff, very dense brush. And that also, I think, breaks that up sometimes and makes it easier to pick up. Fractal Freesia, Lunar Lightwave. Fractal Freesia is a little more gold, but then I feel like sometimes they both look gold. So Fractal Freesia, Lunar Lightwave. Lunar Lightwave has like some blue sparkle in it, but I would never wear these, either one of these, as thick to like get that finish. These are something that I like blended out, and I also like to use them as toppers. And so then they just kind of look more like the sparkle that's in them than the little bit of base that both of them have. Big fan of these. Gonna keep using them. Phytosurgeons has kind of like passively said that like the eyeshadows might go away, so that's upsetting. I don't know if they're shipping the eyeshadows to the United States right now. I don't know. There's some kind of weird tariff or something thing with the eyeshadows, and I'm not really sure what that's about. This is Pewtered Pine. I bought this to dupe an eyeshadow shade from Pat McGrath, and it's this very cool taupe color, taupey purple, slight purple shift on the sheen of it, and I really like it, and it was a very good dupe for the Pat McGrath shade I was trying to dupe. Although this shade might not exist anymore, I know that they were discontinuing one of the lines, and I think this was in that line. I also have Chilled Cherry, which I think is like the best eyeshadow shade other than the sparkles that I have from them. This is like, God, what is this like? It's called Chilled Cherry, and it's like purple bruising. I don't know. It's so weird. It's such a weird color. It's this one right here. It's very interesting. I love it. It's so yuck, you know? Like, I don't know. Bruise. Just looks like a bruise. There's like purple and brown. That's yucky. And I like it. It's distinct. It's just like, I feel like there's like not a lot of eyeshadow colors like that. Finally, we have Crystal Constellation, which I thought about decluttering, but then after they said that they were going to discontinue their eyeshadows or were threatening it, maybe, I was like, well, let's revisit it. It's right in my favorite kind of colorway. It's brown. It has sparkles in it. It's so interesting, though. I will say I find that Phytosurgeon's swatch, like arm swatch like this, does no justice to them actually being on your eyes. So you can see here, it's like a brown color, I don't know, copper with some sparkle in it. It's like sometimes I really like looking at this, and then other times I just think it's too warm. I don't know, I didn't really wear it this year, so maybe I'm just gonna get rid of that one. Some people really love that shade though, and if you're one of those people, I'm happy for you that it exists. We'll do a couple of one-offs that I don't have a ton from the brand. This is from Juicy. This is the shade D127, and I didn't swatch any of them, but this has a very similar texture to that Christmas palette from Glamonatrix that I have. So it's this just really dense glitter. So it looks like a metallic shade, and it is, and it would look like that on your eyes if you built it up. So it's like you do the swatch and you're like, oh wow, what a beautiful metallic. And then when you blend it out though, like if you really blend it, what you realize is that it's just a lot of shimmer particles really all right next to each other, creating that metallic. So there's like see that sparkle is like from the blend out. So I typically like to apply it so that I can see all the sparkles, but it is really cool that you can have that metallic finish. And the ones in that Glaminatrix palette work very similarly. Last I checked, which was a while ago, they still had D127, but it does also on the front say limited edition. It's a very pretty color. It's like this lavender metallic, and I just think it's pretty unique and I really like it. I wore it definitely a couple times this year, which is more than I can say for a lot of those eyeshadow palettes we just looked at. This is going to be impossible to get off. I didn't think about that. This is what's that was one swipe of me trying to get it off. Whenever I film these declutters, the one thing I have to accept that is that I'm going to just be covered in shimmer particles. Another one off, this is Smoky Quartz from Charlotte Tilbury, and I've actually worn this quite a bit in recent months. I really love this. This is the only one I have from the Hypnotizing Pop Shots. In my opinion, I tried 2 of them. This one was the more special of the 2. Very much like Mink, very sparkly, it has a slightly warm base. All of the sparkles are cool toned and leave you with this really beautiful look. Very much my thing. That is gorge. These are my Ritual de Fille eyeshadows. So one thing I will say about these, in case you are someone who hems and haws about buying these are so for like the specific person, right? Like I don't think that everyone will like these or get value out of these. I really like these, but it's not something I would like really recommend. Like that's how I feel about this formula. So just to know that going in. First, we will start off with this shade. This is my newest one. This is the shade Cultist. And it's, again, sometimes it matters if it's a duplicate in my collection, sometimes it doesn't. This is very much a lot of the same of what we've been seeing in my eyeshadows, singles. Warm base, cool sparkle, very pretty. Very much like it. It's also a little bit lighter in contrast to some of the other ones. Unfortunately, you won't be able to buy this beautiful shade. This is from Andromeda's collection. It's the shade Olivine, but I think it is maybe my favorite shade of this. It's this beautiful neutral olive. Sorry, I like swatched it over a red spot, which is probably not the best for color comparison. So pretty. Don't wear a ton of green, but like I would wear that. It's just kind of, it's gorge. I was wearing this one in a recent video as of filming. This is the shade Flora, and I think some of you were really surprised that this was the shade I was wearing. So this is sheerer than the other ones, and I don't really feel that on me it really looks like it does. Like I feel like there like is so present, but like I don't know, it reads really icy on my eyes and I don't really see the base and I just kind of get that purple flash. But it's a really great one and done. Very into this color. Very, very into this color. We'll keep it. It's kind of also similar to Pewtered Pine. If you liked this shade and they're not selling this one anymore, or you can't get it in America, that might be a good alternative. These definitely have better longevity on my eyes than the Ritual de Fille, so that would also depend on whether or not that might be interesting to you. And then I also have, I got this one really cheap this year. I don't even think I think I did buy it this year, but I don't even think I like tracked it on my budget, like, because it was so cheap. One of the local beauty stores in Pittsburgh closed down and they had this for sale, and this is the old packaging and people don't like this packaging, and it's because you can't really get your finger in it. As you see here, I'm using my pinky. This is the shade Anima. This is like an orange that has like a nice little shiny shift to it. It's like kind of one of those things where it's like on the eyes, it's really barely there. Such a thick swatch of it. It's like not blending right. Also, it's old because it comes in this packaging. Shouldn't the store that I bought it from still have been trying to sell it? Probably not, because it just feels a lot different than the other two that I swatched. I do like it. It's honestly, you know, my least favorite of the ones I have. But I wanted to add another one to the collection, and they didn't have any of the other shades, so I'll keep that. But I would also say, if you find someone selling this in this packaging, I would not buy it from that person or that website or whatever, just because it's old. I only have a couple of eyeshadow sticks. I have two from Victoria Beckham. The last time I wore these, They were hard to blend, which is not how they were when I first started using them, which leads me to believe they may have gone off. But something else that I also did, this is the shade Trench, and then this is Pecan. But another thing that's also entirely possible when it comes to these, I was wearing an eyeshadow base, and I don't like to blend these over an eyeshadow base because it makes them really hard to blend, ironically enough. I'm gonna keep holding on to these. I do really love them and would repurchase them because they're very useful. Like using these two shades and then like a single shadow, done, boom, look, done. But if the next time I use these are hard to blend, I will probably dispose of them. I don't know if I would immediately repurchase them. I don't think they feel like an imminent need if they go away, but that's what I will choose to do with them. And then I also have two from Urban Decay. I have a matte. This is blurred out. And this is definitely much closer to my skin tone than these two. So it's a good eye base, but it also just kind of does enough to like prep the eye and give it a little bit of dimension before putting a sparkle on it. So I will keep that, but I do think I'm going to declutter this one. This is the shade Top Off, and it is like a shimmer topper shade, but I just think I have definitely more special toppers than that, so I don't need to keep that. That was PR. Both of those were PR. Just to show you, I'm not going to swatch them, but this is very utilitarian. I've been using the Ulta Matte Veil Longwear Eye Primer and the Fahrenheit Pixie Epoxy for shimmers. So that's what I have. I don't really need to make any decisions on that, but that's what I'm using. I also have this from Morphe. This is their Solo Artist Shadow in the shade Horus. This is also a really good eyeshadow base, but it's so dark I very rarely use it. Whenever I bought it, the lighter like skin tone shades were already taken, and I definitely like this. I think we've seen that. I really like these kind of like cool toned browns, grungy browns, but I don't really reach for it as an eyeshadow primer because it's limiting in what shades I can use with it. Even if I am using like a taupey color, I still have been reaching for this. So I'm gonna get rid of this, but this was a really good eyeshadow primer and I wouldn't like hesitate to buy it again. I just wish I would have gotten it in a shade that was more usable to me. Another utilitarian thing I have mascaras. I like the Surratt Releve mascara, so I have an open one and a backup right now. And I don't have any, I don't think I have any in the testing drawer either. So good on mascaras right now. I have 3 of the Trixie eyeliners. The black and white I purchased, but I have been since added to their PR list and they sent me the brown one. So here's what I'll say about these. I'm not like a gel eyeliner connoisseur, so I don't feel very confident in like saying they're the best or the worst or whatever about them. But here's what I will say. I do really like the black and it has been very useful. It's a nice black, dark black. They have really good staying power on the eyes, so I like them. I just don't really use them that often. But if I am going to go for a wing, I would do it with a gel over a liquid liner. So I'm going to keep that. And I also really like the brown one. I might even prefer the brown one over the black one. I also feel like when I use the brown one, I can only tell it's brown over black when I really want it to be, but like it is quite dark and I'm not sure it reads too different from the black whenever I am using it. And I went with this white one, which it tried out so much faster than the others. Like the other two are good. I bought the black one at the same time and it is not doing this, but this has already become a cake. I am pretty good about closing, like just scooping out what I need and then closing it all the way to try to keep it airtight. This is so hard to work with. And I think it is just because it is white. The colorful ones have pigment in them. And I think that helps keep them like creamier and dreamier and easy to work with. This didn't show up fully opaque. It dragged on the eyes. Like, I don't know. This one was entirely unpleasant for me to work with. I don't have a lot of use case scenarios for white gel liner either. So I'm not really looking for recommendations, but if anyone wants to leave one in the comments, feel free for anyone who might want to seek that out. But for me, this has got to go. This one's going in the trash, and I'm going to do that right now. Victoria Beckham eyeliners are my favorite eyeliners, and really, I have 2 other eyeliners that are pencil eyeliners that I do also like, but these are the stars of the show. As you can see, I have two shades that I have used a ton of. So we have Ash and then we have Cocoa. I use these a ton. I like Ash because it's not like a fully opaque black and it doesn't read as black on the eyes. You could tell the difference when you use the two. Like I have the black one as well and it's definitely a much darker black, and I love Cocoa. And I've had these two the longest, but also they are still the two that I use the most. The one I use the next most is definitely the shade Black. And you can see how much darker it is than Ash. Like they serve a similar purpose, but I also sometimes really like to amp it up and go in with a black. These are really creamy eyeliners and I like that about them. They don't drag on my skin and they also have great longevity on my eye. So I really like them for that as well. I recently acquired the shade Night Flash. And you are seeing this a bit before an order I placed comes in. So Night Flash is a black that has some silver sparkle in it, but of course it's really hard to see them on the camera, but hopefully now that I've rubbed off the black, you can see the sparkles a little bit more. Stunning. Love it. And I also have Cinnamon, which is I think will be the one that I continue to use the least, but whenever I am doing warm tone looks, I love throwing this in the waterline. It makes my eyes look super green. It's not as shimmery. It's more of like a satin compared to Night Flash. You can see that they have a different finish. But as I was saying, I bought Cocoa Pavé because a very kind subscriber sent me a very lovely gift card to Victoria Beckham Beauty. So I was able to snag that. Love these eyeliners forever. Then I have this one from Kulfi, which I am going to finally retire. They sent this to me in PR forever ago. This is the shade Tiger Queen. Gorgeous terracotta color. I never wear it. I hold on to it because it's like, I'm gonna wear it someday and I just never do. Gorgeous, very long wearing, probably more long wearing than the Victoria Beckham ones. They sent me colorful shades because I was much more into color when they reached out to me. So I wouldn't hesitate to buy, like if, you know, in a pinch I needed an eyeliner, I wouldn't hesitate to like buy the black or brown one from them. Very good. They are quite small, so if you run through eyeliners really quickly, this micro pencil might not be your thing. Also, mine does this a lot, so two things just to be aware of. But I think Kulfi is very cool, but I think this is just kind of like aged out of my collection. And then I have this from Soshi Beauty. This was PR. This is like their eye brightener. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about eye brighteners. I've used it a couple of times. I don't even, it's like, it should technically still be in my testing drawer. I like it well enough. It's a nice linen. It's not a stark white, so it works on my skin tone for brightening. So I'll keep it but it's like something I very, very rarely choose to use. And then finally I have this from Half Magic. This is one of their micro pill liquid liners, and it's like separated and weird, and I think it's just time to give up on this, so I'm gonna pass on it. I'm decluttering 8 things from these categories. I feel pretty good about that. I know that this is like a section of categories in my makeup collection. These are things that I use a lot, and these are the things I use the least in that, and that is why they are going. But all of the other things get a lot of play or regular play in my makeup collection, and they are like my most coveted things in my makeup collection. Like they're the things that I love using in my collection. So that makes sense to me. I'm not gonna count what I kept, but here's what I got rid of. Let's do cheek products. I wanted to show you this really quickly. So basically what I have decided, if a product has been depotted, then I'm probably not gonna declutter it. I probably don't have the case in which it originally went into, and the things that are in here are things that have been vetted. And I think what I'm gonna do moving forward, and maybe it will be part of this video, but we'll see. I think any blush that makes it to the end of the year, if it is a cream or a powder, what I will do is depot them so they become part of this. So I have some things that are in my collection that I can probably depot to put in here, but also in a very real way, it is really annoying to depot things. So I don't really want to like do that on camera, but I do think ultimately that's what I want. So we'll just kind of like really quickly go over what I have here. On the cream side, I have the shade from Lukey, which I don't know the name of off the top of my head. This is Mimi from Westman Atelier. That's Condensate from Phytosurgeons. This is Cult Classic from Trixie Cosmetics. This is the Chanel Beige Mauve Blush Harmony. From Surratt, we have Barba Papa, Budapest, and Gui Mauve. And then this is from Valentino. This is their Eye to Cheek, and I think the shade 3, but I might be wrong about that. And this is a discontinued Chanel blush. I think it was the shade Ombre, but they don't make that shade anymore. So that's what we have going on here. But I do think after this declutter, I'm going to depot them and try to fit everything in here. So we'll see what happens. But we'll start with blushes just because we're already talking about blushes. Okay, we'll keep those. Earlier in the year, I talked about these Glaminatrix blushes. I received these in PR. I really like this formula. However, it is time for me to be honest with myself and give up the ghost. I do not use liquid blushes as much as I use cream and powder blushes. I do actually like the look of liquid blushes quite a bit. So much. I just never reach for them. So I'll swatch these for you. This is the shade Soft. Oh, also the eyeliners I was swatching, they're still present. I've washed my hands twice. This is Nurture. This is Kind. And this is Tender. I really like Tender, and I also really like Soft. They're really beautiful. It's a really gorgeous formula. If you are into liquid blushes and you get a lot of use out of them and you are looking for a new one to try, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend these to you. They're really beautiful. I had a lot of success with them whenever I was trying them, but I do just think it's time for me to pass those along. Staying in the realm of liquid blushes, I have these two Surratt liquid blushes. These were also PR. I have Cantaloupe. I took the sponges off the tips of these. Also, the last time I used Cantaloupe, it took me a really long time to get anything to come out. I can't imagine I've used them up, but maybe I did. Or maybe they dried out. Yeah, that's not even coming out. So that one I can't even swatch for you. And then Barbapapa, will we have better luck with? Yeah, maybe I finished Cantaloupe, but that seems entirely impossible. Barbapapa is really beautiful, but it is different from its powder counterpart. The powder has a blue shift that sheens on top of it, and this has more of like a cool-toned silver shift to it that gleams back. Very pretty. Not as special as the powder version though, and I never reach for it. However, unlike the other liquid blushes, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Matte Blush in the shade Pillow Talk. And I do use this one a lot because I do think the shade is pretty unique, which is a very weird thing to say about a Charlotte Tilbury product. Pillow Talk is usually a very warm pink, but for some reason in this blush wand, they've made it like a cool gray pink. It's not a super fair color, but I really like the way it looks on my cheeks. And unfortunately, because I won't be able to depot this to put it in my blush palette, like it's just gonna have to live outside of that. However, I do like think of this and reach for this. It had been a while since I worn it, but I've worn it like 4 or 5 times recently because I pulled it out of the drawer and I was like, oh my god, I love this. So I do want to keep that. I have 6, well, one's a color corrector slash mix-in, but I have 6 blushes from Phytosurgeons. And I mean, one of them I think is also one I've depotted already, and I just need to finish depotting it. Yeah. Where is it? Yeah, so I actually already depotted most of Condensate. I just needed to depot the rest of it. So what happened was I really wanted to do a depotting journey. And I wanted to see if the Phytosurgeons blushes would hold up outside of an airtight container. And one of my subscribers, I don't know who it was off the top of my head, did let me know that Phytosurgeons said that you could repot them and it shouldn't be an issue. Mine has been depotted probably since around the beginning of the year, very close to, if not right at the beginning of the year, and it still works very well. The formula may have firmed up just a slight bit, but it still works really beautifully and does exactly what I need it to do. So I will be doing that with any Phytosurgeons blush I keep. Here's a quick swatch of Condensate for you with my left hand, all kinds of weird. So I need to depot that and I will be doing that. Okay, so I said there's one color corrector or color corrector, I guess is the right thing to call it. This is like a mix-in color. This is the shade Dust. I haven't played with this as much as I would have liked to. I don't feel really bad about that. I do want to hold on to this though, because I still want to do that video where I do a black color corrector mix-in versus gray. But the thing about this, if you haven't seen it before, I will swatch it. The thing about this is it's a blue gray, and that it's not just like a straight gray. It's very blue. I don't know. Do I have anything else to say? I've only ever really tried mixing it with other Phytosurgeons products, and it works really beautifully the couple times I've done it. But less is more when it comes to this. This is a very generous amount of this type of thing. This is Evaporate. I believe this is one of their toasted blushes. It is like a very nice terracotta color, and I really like this one. I don't wear a lot of blushes or colors like this, but I like to keep this one around because I actually just really like the way this one warms up my cheeks a little bit without feeling like so orange. Although in these bright lights, it's looking very orange. But I'm gonna keep it. I do like it. This is Plume. Plume is a sometimes shade. I think they only make this shade when they really feel like making it. I don't know that it's like permanent, but they made it a few times. I don't know. I don't know if they restock this, but it is this beautiful pale pinky beige that has a lot of gray in it. Looks very natural on my cheeks. And I will swatch Condensate next to it because I know that that's like kind of the closest one. Condensate's like a little bit darker, and Condensate looks more pink on my cheek than Plume. Plume looks a little more purple. It's interesting with these two shades. It's like, for a lot of people, they end up being like perfect cheek colors, like perfect pinks or perfect like purples on people. But I don't know that in the like heavy swatches, that's what they really look like. But of course, I wouldn't wear that much of it on my cheek. I mean, you might, but I wouldn't. This is a new grab for me. This is their shade Sear, and it's a very pretty terracotta color, and this looks really natural on my cheeks. It's a very nice sunburny look, although Evaporate is kind of old in my collection, and it was gifted to me by a friend a couple of years ago, and they had opened it previously. So I'm wondering, they aren't exactly the same. There's obviously nuanced differences, but when I'm looking at them, I actually really quite like the look of this way more than I like the look of Evaporate. And I don't know, maybe I think that's what I would like to do, because I would reach for this over Evaporate. Scorch is also along the same lines. If you don't know, I have a type when it comes to blushes. It's either purple, bruisey, or I guess terracotta are the two options. It's a little darker than Sear. I think this one was meant for medium skin tones. I really like it. It's newer to me as well. And then we have a Wisp. They threw this in for free with an order I made because they thought it would look good on me. It's actually a bit warm for a purple blush. It's not super warm, but when you look at it compared to Plume, which is like really grungy, this is definitely like a very girly pop purple color, which I feel like Phytosurgeons doesn't make a ton of like girly pop blush colors. They're very like nuanced usually. So there's all of them. So I'm going to get rid of Evaporate. I'm going to keep everything else, and I'm also going to depot everything else. This is Garçon from Westman Atelier. This is like right in line with my favorite kind of blush shades, that like bruisey purple with some brown in it. I think that on my cheeks it can pull a little like rusty on my cheeks, but I kind of really like that. This is just like very much my speed. A lot of the blush shades I have in powders are this color, but I don't have a cream like this, and I don't think this is incredibly close to any of the Phytosurgeons ones. So I will be keeping Garçon. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. This was their... Was it their February collection, like their Valentine's Day thing? So it is the Pillow Talk Flawless Pink, whatever this is. So I bought this because I really liked the packaging. And I've had the question before for someone who likes their collection to be minimal and depotted, which is obviously something I said I'm kind of working towards this year. These are really easy to pop out, and I do really like the packaging. But to me, the packaging is more something I like to look at, I guess, and entice me to like look at it. But so what I'm probably gonna do is depot this and then also keep the packaging. And I also just might use it as like a mirror on my vanity, and maybe just have a little collection of very pretty compacts that I can use as mirror and rotate out is kind of what I'm planning on doing with pretty packaging. But I am feeling less inclined to buy something just because of packaging, but also packaging can entice me to buy something. I'm not a perfect person. So there's this finishing powder, which I really like. This is really beautiful, but then there's this beautiful blush. Again, Charlotte took a different pillow talk journey on this one. This looks really nice on my cheeks. It's nice, bright, and vibrant, which not a lot of my blush shades are. And I really like this formula. It melts into the skin very well and then ends up looking really natural. I feel like there's a lot of blue in this pink, and I find that blue pinks tend to work better on my skin. And yeah, I took this blush everywhere towards the beginning of the year. I haven't used it as much the second half of the year, but I still very much love this, so I will be keeping it. And then finally, this little duo from Westman Atelier. This is the Suede and Sable duo. Yeah, I really like this. This is my like, when I want to wear a warm blush, this is typically what I like to use. That sable, that suede. These are really beautiful. And I do like this packaging. It's not as exciting or enticing or as weighted as the usual Westman Atelier packaging, but I do think it's a cute compact, but I am probably gonna gut this. So I'm gonna take out those powders. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I will figure out when I figure that out. So don't ask me. And when you see them depotted, don't ask me. Don't ask me. Don't perceive me. Because I don't like to promote depotting, because it's not something where you're going to 100% guarantee that you're going to get what you want out of it, and I can't guarantee that you won't damage stuff. I only depot stuff because I'm okay with damaging stuff and I can repress stuff, and ultimately if I lose a blush or an eyeshadow or something when I am choosing to depot something, I'm willing to take that L. But your hard-earned money is your hard-earned money, and what you spend it on and how you like to take care of it is entirely up to you. So you might have a different viewpoint on that. And I don't want to show you how to depot something and me do it successfully and then it not work for you, because that's also something that's entirely possible. Anyway, I'm going to keep this. I'm getting rid of 7 blushes. I'm keeping 9 products, but some of them are duos and whatever, but I'm keeping 9. And I think that's pretty great. Oh, also I have the ones that are in the pans, like that are in the magnetic palette, but we're not talking about those. They weren't really part of the conversation. So those need to be depotted. Oh no, I'm keeping this one too. So 10, 10 blushes. Hold on. I'm keeping 10. Okay, let's move on to an easy category, a little bit of a gimme, sort of. So these are all of my bronzers. I'm on a similar journey with the bronzers. I was a little more hesitant to depot the bronzers, but I am happy that I did. This is the Gucci bronzer. This is Grisaille from Surat, and then this is the Excel blush in the shade 4. They have 2 blush formulas, but only one has this shade in it, so it would be very easy for you to find if you looked for it. And then I have 2 external bronzers. Running with the same theme as I did with the blushes, but there are less of them, so I feel a little more inclined to swatch these for you. So, oh, I still have the swatches from the blushes. So that's the Gucci bronzer. That's Grisaille. That is the Excel blush. Very soft in pigmentation, and the Excel blush is looking like it's getting hard panned, so I will need to fix that. Love these for all different reasons. So the Gucci bronzer is a rosy warm bronzer, although the other shades are looking much more rosy than that. But I like this more for the summertime, the Gucci one, and then in the fall winter months I've leaned into more cool tone bronzers. Grisaille from Surat is supposed to be a contour shade, but it works better as a very sheer light bronzer on my fair skin, and I really like it for that. And then the same thing with the Excel blush. It is supposed to be a blush. Let me try to get a little bit of a better swatch of it. Very similar idea. It's a lot lighter actually than Grisaille, which is like really hard to believe because I think they're both really hard to see, and I think could be a really beautiful blush on some people, and I wear it as a blush occasionally, but I think it also works better as like a bit of a bronzer situation. So that's what's going on with those ones in there. Because of my eyeshadow declutter, I freed up some of these ADEPT palettes, and I think other than the blushes, which I have a lot more of, I want to move my like bronzers into this situation. I don't want to have a ton of bronzers. Obviously, I only have 2 additional bronzers to make decisions on outside of this. I think if I could get everything into these are the ADEPT stackable palettes. I will link these down below. I really like these. I really like these because they stack, and in my Alex drawers from IKEA, in the big drawers, they can stack like this. So in theory, what I could do, also what a makeup artist could do, is I could stack everything like this, take up much less space, have these labeled, and I would just know where everything is. So that's how I'm feeling about that. Yeah, so I'm gonna demote this to just be a travel palette, or whenever I want to build my own palettes, which I can still do, I can use it for that. but I don't even know. We'll see how long that sticks around. Anyway, so I'm going to start with the easier of the two to make the decision on. This is from Trixie Cosmetics. This is the Trixie Sticks Cream Bronzer in the shade Sunkissed. And it also looks kind of orange on my skin whenever I do that like light swatch of it. But I really like the finish on this and I love how it looks on my skin. I tend to not like orange bronzers like this, but on my skin, it just looks so natural and healthy and incredible. This formula is incredible. I love the way it wears. This is not an airtight component, so I am going to depot this. I am actually just kind of getting close to the end as it is, and I'm sure there's some product below because it is a stick that I can dig out. So I'm going to depot it also and put it in here just to make my life easier. But I love this. I'm going to blend it out a little bit. It reminds me of what people really like about the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer, except I didn't like that. And the color was probably better in that, and I did like this. It like gives me whatever people get out of that, I guess. I love it. And here's Ray from Chantecaille. I've held on to this for so long. I love the idea of being this person more than I am this person. This is what it looks like. This was like a summertime limited edition thing they released. God, was it in 2022 or 2023? I bought it, I think, in my budget year. It was like the last thing I bought in the year. I found one. I got it on a super discount. So I consider this more a bronzer, but it's supposed to be like an eye or a cheek shade. And it's really pretty, but it is just so warm. I do like it as a cheek shade, but it's just, I never reach for it because it is so orange like that. And I'm gonna be honest with myself, like I would really love to just like depot this and, you know, blah blah blah, but I'm not. I'm just gonna get rid of it. I know I'm never gonna use it. I'm never gonna choose it over any of the other 4 blushes I have in my collection. And I think this product still has a lot of life left in it. I think it's one of the best things that Chantecaille's ever released. It's so good. It works really well. So I'm gonna pass that on, find a friend to take it. But that makes me sad. I don't like that. I mean, I don't have to do anything, but I think being realistic, I want my makeup to be used. So I want to use the makeup, and I want makeup that I'm not using to be used by someone. So I think I can find that a better home. So for bronzer, I got rid of 1, and I'm keeping 4. Let's move on to highlighters. This is what I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's a pretty reasonable, is that a reasonable amount of highlighter? I mean, it's a lot. For sure. Too much, maybe. Let's see what we can do. So, I mean, I don't think it's any secret that I love the highlighters from Hindash. This is the shade La Luna. This gets so much play in my makeup collection. It's this beautiful, cool toned highlighter. It can look really soft or super ethereal on the cheeks. It's kind of whatever you want it to be. It looks like it's gonna be super icy, but there is something in there that keeps it grounded. So if you don't like a white highlighter, I don't really feel like it comes off that way. It's really beautiful. Of course, we're gonna keep that. Same thing with Doll Dynasty. It is a warmer highlight. Not a lot of the highlights I have are warm toned. And this also has a similar vibe to it. It's just slightly warmer than La Luna. La Luna's right there on my thumb. And then there's Doll Dynasty. It just adds the right amount of everything. Like, it's just everything I want. I can also focus more on the darker side to get something that has a little bit more of that, which also kind of looks a little bit like what Ray is. So if I ever really want to live that fantasy, I can get it right there. Gorgeous, amazing, incredible. I am thinking about depotting my highlighters and doing a similar situation. I have, unlike with blushes and with bronzers, I don't find myself having as many issues rotating through my highlighters. And I don't know if it's because there was just a moment in my life where I was like really into highlighters, which is certainly a thing that was true, or if it's just like different looks for me call for different things. So a lot of the highlighters that you just saw laid out in front of you, I use pretty regularly. There's only a couple that I feel like I don't use a ton. Let's move on to these Gucci highlighters. I have two. We'll start with this one, which is Frosted Lilac. Gorge. These have a very interesting baked putty formula. If you've gone into a Sephora, I'm sure you've seen these ravaged, beat up, torn up from the floor up. It's really pretty. So this is what it looks like with a finger. Very beautiful, very gorgeous, very stunning, very pretty. I have two of these. I use this one far less, and I think that's okay, and I think that means I want to get rid of it. I don't dislike it. I think it's really pretty. I think it's gorgeous. Like, look at that really soft, ethereal glow. I have another highlighter in a formula I prefer that I feel gives a similar vibe to this, so I think I just want to keep that. I like having a Gucci compact. It feels, you know, luxe and gorge. I mean, it doesn't feel super heavy, but it kind of gives, right? Like, I think that this really kind of gives. Really like it. Really like this formula. But not all of the shades are created the same, so just know that going in. But I like this. I've enjoyed my time with it, but I think I'm okay letting it go. The real surprise for me was this one. This is Opal Pink from the same line from Gucci. And yeah, it kind of looks like it shouldn't do anything for me, but I just think that this is really a unique beigey shade. I like to wear this with like more neutral looks. There's a little bit of warmth in there that you can kind of see that with a really cool toned look it can kind of throw off. But I just love this highlight on my cheek, and you can just see how it kind of more special it is than the purple one. I mean, the purple one is special in the way that it is purple, but I think this one is special in the way that it's like, I've just never seen a highlighter kind of this like color. And it also works for me. I do have to go light-handed. If I go too heavy-handed, it can leave a bit of a cast on my skin, as you can see there. With a really gentle touch, it really does something beautiful. So I do want to keep this one. We'll move on to Ritual Defeat. I have a couple shades from them. This one you cannot buy anymore. This is the shade Borealis. This was from Andromeda's collab with them. This was sent to me in PR. It is this really beautiful, like, neutral green highlighter. And that sounds really weird to say. Look at how ethereal it is. It doesn't look like it doesn't belong. I don't use this a ton. It doesn't live in my mind rent-free, but every time I do use it, I really like it. This is something I like to put on if I have a very neutral look and I want some intrigue that might not come from the other makeup. I feel like this does just enough, but not being too weird on the cheek. I really like it. I'm gonna keep that. And when I was talking about that Gucci highlighter earlier, this is the shade Ghostlight, and I think this does something very similar, but I do prefer the Ritual Defeat cream formula to the Gucci formula. And it is like a soft, ethereal purple flash. I'm starting to get irritated on my hand. You can see. So hopefully you can still see the purple. I'll do it. There we go. So you can see all the shifts. Love her. This is something that's not going anywhere. This is the Torch Lumiere in the shade Diamante from Surratt. They sent this to me in PR. This is like the perfect, just kind of like wet look shine for the cheek, but it does set down and my hair doesn't get caught in it. It's really beautiful. It might be a little bit beigey, but I've never really noticed that. This is like a beige that I feel like looks better with cool tone looks. It leans a little more icy on my cheek than I feel like a lot of the other highlighters do, which is interesting because it doesn't really look like it would be icy, but I love this. This is the Super Loaded Tinted Highlight in the shade Peau de Rosé. A lot of people love this formula, but most people I feel like love other shades outside of Peau de Rosé. The Westman Atelier packaging is so lovely, and this is just a very like soft pink highlight, but the problem and the annoying thing about it is there's glitter in it and it's inconsistent, and on my cheeks sometimes it's really lovely, but other times I find that like shimmer particle is really distracting, and I think if it didn't have that I would wear it more. I really love the idea of being a Westman Atelier girl. You got this beautiful, gorgeous, heavy packaging. It was really expensive. This was something I also bought on a trip whenever I was in Vegas. I was shopping at Sephora with Lauren May Beauty, and I bought it while we were together. So it kind of reminds me of that moment. I'm gonna keep this, I think. I am planning on depotting my highlighters and doing that with them. So This one's really easy to do because I think there was a world in which they thought they were going to be refills for this, but they never made them. So you can poke that right out. And like just having this as a little hand mirror, although that mirror is really small. I don't know. I really love the idea of the Westman Atelier packaging a lot more than I like it, because I find them really hard to open. The magnet's really strong and I find it annoying. And this happens a lot. And if I have long nails on, ooh, I think we can see the leftover shimmer particle on my hand, I think. Maybe. We could be sure. Whenever the lights are this bright, it's hard to see the sparkle and everything. I think my truth is I should let this go. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't feel incredibly happy about it, but it's just like, whenever we've talked about all the other highlighters, I use them all more than this. I even use the green one more than this. And I think that's saying something. So I just am going to be honest with myself and let that one go. This is from Chanel. This is their cream highlight stick in the shade Balm Essentiel in the shade Dragé. And I like to wear this on normal days, normal makeup days. It's balmy, it melts into the skin eventually. It leaves a little bit of that balm shine, but that's really mostly what it is. There's a little bit of like a peachy shimmer throughout, but like on a day where I'm just like putting on makeup to hang out with friends, or like I'm not trying to do the most, this is a really beautiful product, and it's really nice to take on the go. If you feel like your eyes are like drier than usual underneath, this is nice to just like tap in under there, just a very light amount, kind of brings the makeup back to life. I like to use it for that. This is really the utilitarian, but I don't use it a lot on my channel because it's something that I really like to use on the day-to-day. This, if I depot my cream highlighters, like if I do go through depotting all of them, I don't know that I would do that with this one because I like to carry this around. That's how I feel. That's just kind of how I feel. I like to carry that one around, put it in my purse on days where I want to just like have it around. And then finally, this is from Pat McGrath. This is a really old highlighter. This is Iridescent Pink, and it is this beautiful baked shifty pink highlighter. I used to have like a lot of this kind of thing in my makeup collection, and this is really old. I think I bought this in 2017 or 2018, and I still think it really holds up to other formulas. It's nice and sheer, but also has the intrigue of something like the Ritual de Fille Bare Light Luminizer without being too incredibly obscene or like, you know, seeing it too much. You can build it up to really be blinding, but I think just a soft application of this is really gorgeous. And so I'm going to keep it around. So of the highlighters, I am getting rid of 2 and I'm keeping 8. We're going to move on to complexion products, and we are going to start with primers. I don't feel compelled to swatch things. I'm a little further on in the day, and I'm filming these all on the same day. So however long this video it is, I was doing this for longer than that. I don't always think that these things need to be swatched. And also for the complexion products, I have a lot of other videos where I use them so you can see them on my skin. And I've done a lot of swatching previously, and I also have a very big project coming up that will also resolve what those products will look like if you want to see that. So just stay tuned. We'll start with primers. I have 4 primers. This is the Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer. This is their old version of it, not their current version. This is the jumbo size. I think now they only have 2 sizes. They have like a small and a large, and I think this is the same size as their current large size. I really like it, and I intend on using this up. I don't know how much more of this I have left to go, really, even, but I really love it. I just love how beautiful this bottle is. It's just one of my favorite things. I just love it. This is the Trixie Cosmetics Priming Spray, the First Base Priming Spray, and I also very much love this. This is something unique to me. I know that there are other like spray primers, but it has like a spray nozzle, not like a pump. This really blurs the skin and really does a good job as a base. It's not super hydrating, but it just works so well. But if you have really dry skin, I'm not sure if this is going to be the best one for you, but I just really like this. I love using it. Then I have this from Ritual de Fille. I've come to really like this in the more recent months. This is their Creature of Light, and I have the Moonlit Creature shade, and I really like it. It's a really nice glowy primer, and to me it's kind of just like a iridescent blue version of the Victoria Beckham primer. They actually remind me a lot of each other, and it comes in a beautiful glass bottle, and yeah, I really don't want to let this go, so I'm going to keep using it. I love primer as a category, and I like having options, if you haven't noticed. This is from Merit. I received this in PR. I'm not really planning on really receiving anything from Merit going forward, or like using them in my affiliate links, but I do find this really useful. It's an oil serum combo, and when you shake it up, you're left with this color. Whenever I struggle with something that makes my skin look really dry, like a foundation or a concealer, I will usually use this, and sometimes this can make a product that I wouldn't like otherwise really lovely on the skin, and sometimes I just like to pat it into my skin just for a little additional something. So I would like to hold on to this. I also like that it's a glass bottle. It's very luxurious. The only thing is this pump is annoying. And then I forgot to include this in the highlighter, which is actually so funny because that's like my constant problem with this. This is the Auric Glow Lust in the shade Morganite. Now, if you are a longtime viewer of my channel, you know that I have struggled to find a place for this in my makeup collection over the last couple of years. My first year with it was an incredible love affair. I was using it all of the time. And I don't use it as a primer anymore, but I wanted to make sure I put it in here because I did want to talk about it. So this is like not really in the right place, so I apologize in case you were like watching only a segment. I have been using this a lot the last couple of weeks. I've almost chosen it as my highlighter every time I've done my makeup. I used it on camera in a video that I actually posted a couple weeks ago, and I've just been using it ever since. It's so gorgeous. The real problem is, how do I get to use it? But considering I'm like minimizing and depotting and moving things around in my makeup collection, I think that this could definitely become something I use a lot more. And I think the reason I was also using it a lot, not only that after I used it for the first time in a really long time, it looked really beautiful on my skin, was that I just left it on my vanity. So this might just have to be something that lives on my vanity, so I at least feel encouraged to use it. I'm gonna keep this too. So this category, well, let's not really consider Glow Lust to be part of this category. This category didn't really change sizes at all. For the most part, when it comes to complexion stuff, I keep it nice and tight with what I actually use, so that's really nice to see that that trend has continued. I think 4 primers is a lot of primers, and I think most people only need 1. Complexion is the step that I am extra with, and people who have been here a long time know that. Okay, let's move on to the next category, which was really interesting for me. We're going to talk about foundations, and I have 3. Does that feel right to anyone? It feels wrong to me. I really try to cap my foundations at 5. Like, I like to have 5 foundations at a given time, and I like them to do different things. These all serve different purposes, but it's just interesting that I only have 3, and then when I look at them, I really only wear 1 of them. So I would like to discuss it with you. We'll start with this one from Prada. This is the Prada foundation in the shade LN5. I think is the shade I have. This is a foundation that has a soft matte finish, and I usually find that soft matte finishes I like, and they also tend to look glowy, and I usually don't have problems wearing soft matte foundations at any time of the year because my skin's a little bit oily. This only works for me in the summer, and it's a lot more coverage than I typically like to wear. While I do like this, and I do like wearing it in the summer, I didn't wear it this summer at all. It wasn't what I was reaching for. Oh my god, I have 4. Sorry, this is also here. I don't want anyone to think that I'm going crazy, but I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm gonna declutter this. It's not my favorite foundation, even at its best. It can look incredible on my skin. It doesn't guarantee that my skin's gonna look incredible, so I'm going to declutter it. But this won't be the last time you see this, depending on when I post. But this won't be the last time you see this. So just keep that in mind. It's not the last time you'll see it, but it's no longer in my permanent collection. Let's move on to Patrick Ta. This is the Patrick Ta foundation in the shade 6. I don't feature this on my channel anymore because I think Patrick Ta is kind of awful. I don't really want to buy from him anymore. Probably still talk about his brand in Critical Sass, but problem is I really love this foundation. Every time I wear it, my skin looks incredible, and I have great longevity with it. It reacts well to powder, so I really love this, and I use it off camera all the time, or I will use it on camera and not link to it. I love it. I wouldn't buy it again, but I do think I do want to use up this bottle, so I'm gonna keep it. It'll be in my collection kicking around, but you won't hear from it much. You'll see it in another upcoming video or set of videos just for education purposes and like letting people know purposes, but other than that, this is here but quiet and That's all you need to know. Oh, my Surratt Dewdrop foundation. Still incredible. Still think highly of it. I've had this kicking around for a while. I have not refilled this, by the way. So as long as this has been decanted, this has been the same liquid in there. It's still going strong. I've used it within the last week or so. Still looking beautiful. Still working just as I intended. As I said, I decanted this because the original bottle of this sucks. I'm going to keep this. This is the Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint in the shade T3. I really love this as well. I have no complaints. I don't really have much to say. It's incredible in the summer, incredible all the time. It's a nice skin finish, and I feel like a lot of skin tints want to lean glowy, but I like that this has a just right down the middle finish. I can make it look glowy, I can make it look more matte, and I like that I have that option instead of it making it for me. Lovely, lovely formula. I'm keeping 3, and I am decluttering 1, but this one's invisible. So I have 3, well, 2. I have 3 concealers, and let's start with the color corrector. This is the Chanel color corrector in the green shade, the shade Vert, and it's time to let this go. This is pretty old in my makeup collection. I bought it during my budget year, and it never became a staple thing that I use. I only have the want or need to use color corrector if I'm having breakouts, and a lot of them or just like incredible redness. And I've really done a good job in the last year and a half or so really calming my skin down. I had a little flare up at the beginning of the year, but I think I understand what was happening. Anyway, I'm gonna declutter this because it's old. I very rarely use it. It's just languishing, and it's gotta go. This is the Victoria Beckham concealer. I have the shade FL1. I love this. I use it all the time. If you're here, you know that. It's the concealer I reach for the absolute most. Then I have the Refi concealer in the shade 3. I like this concealer as a foundation, which is maybe why I only had 4 foundations. Maybe last year I considered this to be a foundation. I did not use this a ton this year. I like the desaturated shade. It works well for me, and as a foundation, it is beautiful. It's blurring. It makes my skin look radiant, but it's not like shiny in any way. Unfortunately, I mostly use concealer as an under eye thing. I mean, I will use a concealer all over the face, like I mentioned with this one, but I clearly, mostly this year, did not choose it. But also I would say that this year is the year that I have tried the most complexion products, which there's a whole drawer of complexion products that's a testing drawer that I'm working on doing a mega video for. So it's all gonna come to fruition at some point and you're gonna see it. However, because this doesn't work under my eyes, it gets caught in the folds and it ages me under my eyes for some reason. Other people have a lot of success with this on their under eyes, but I just don't see that it works. It just makes my under eyes look really bad. So I'm going to declutter this. It's not something I think of a ton in my makeup collection. And if I'm thinking of a concealer product that I used a lot this year as an all over face product that also works well under my eyes, the Sarah Creel concealer foundation flexy thing works so much better for me all over the face and under the eyes. So that is probably something I will invite into my makeup collection at some point from my testing drawers after I get this mega video done. So this doesn't need to be in my collection, but kind of like I said with the foundation and what I've been hinting at, I'm working on this big video, so this will be included in that, and there will be swatches and comparisons of everything, and you will love it, and you will watch it. Okay, that brings me down to 1 concealer, and I decluttered 2. I don't know if you consider the color corrector a concealer, but it looks like a concealer. Next, I have setting sprays, and they would all roll if I put them on all at once. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 of them. So we'll just go at them one at a time. This is from Trixie Cosmetics. This was PR. This is the All The Way setting spray. Really love this. It's a nice setting spray. It's really kind of replaced the Urban Decay All Nighter for me as far as like the thing that I want to wear whenever I want my makeup to last a little bit longer. I don't think this makes your makeup like all day proof, but if you were going to work or something, I just really like it for that. Like, it's just really nice. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything too intense. Doesn't feel like I'm spraying my face with hairspray. It has a light peach scent that I don't find too bad, but if you are sensitive to fragrance, you might want to avoid, but I really love this stuff, so I'm going to keep it. Speaking of the all-nighter, I have an all-nighter that I got in PR, and I do actually really like this, but since now that I have the Trixie one, I'm going to pass this on, and whoever gets it will be lucky. This is one of the Skindinavia ones. This isn't one of their their new ones. Then I have a full size and a mini of the Huda Easy Bake setting spray. I do really like this stuff. It really nicely blurs the skin. I took the little one to travel and the big one was gifted to me a while ago by a friend who gets Huda PR. Obviously, it's a kind of a known issue that the sprayer is not great on this, but I do really like the effect more than I mind the spray. However, I don't use this a ton, so I think I'm just going to keep the little one, and I think I'm going to declutter the big one. Also, there's no agitator in the big one. There is one in the small one, and I was told that they're all supposed to have agitators, so I'll just keep the one that has the correct thing going on. The thing that kind of pushed the Huda out of the way for me for all day is this. This is from Mayron. This is the barrier spray. This is the mini size, and you don't need a ton of this. This makes your makeup lasts forever. I went to the Marina concert and it was at the end of September and it was still kind of warm at the end of September here in Pittsburgh, and it was outdoors and I was dancing and screaming and my face was stamped. This is really nice, but I would not say that if you if you are not someone who is always going to concerts or events or whatever. This is entirely unnecessary in my opinion. Maybe it would be worth it for an event, like if you were getting married. I don't know. It just really kept my makeup looking good. Nothing really faded. It was actually incredible. It made my skin almost hydrophobic. Like I was sweating and then it was just like rolling down my face, but not affecting the makeup. It was really crazy. So not for like the average everyday kind of need, but nice to have in the back pocket. Probably will very rarely use it, but I do want to keep it because it did that for me. Then finally, I have a bottle of Fix Plus. I love Fix Plus, mostly in the winter time when my skin might need a little more hydration after I've powdered or if my skin's looking really powdery. I use this a lot less. I have been much more into the Trixie setting spray, something that gives me a little more longevity in the spray, so I'm really happy to keep that and finish it up. I don't know if it's something I would run out and rebuy at this point, but I do want to finish this bottle of it at least. From setting sprays, I'm decluttering 2 and I am keeping 4. I have powders, powders everywhere. So I have powders in here and I also have powders out there, so we'll just pull out my powders. I'm not really sure how I want to do this. Okay, so I'm just going to start with the ones that I've been using. So this is the Wet n Wild Hello Kitty powder. They sell this now, but without the Hello Kitty branding, and I think you get more in the product now. This is incredible. I love it on my under eyes. You can pry it out of my cold dead hands. I got this from Andromeda. Andromeda, thank you. This is so good. I don't know that I'm tearing through it, but I'm using it and I really like it. And I mostly use it for the center of my face, which is what I used to use this for. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Brightening Powder. Of course, you can see that I've done a lot of damage on it. However, I do prefer the way the Wet n Wild makes my under eyes look. So what I'm going to do is actually declutter this. Even though I have this is like my little thing to do my face with. I don't know, every time I do my makeup, I pull this out. These are like things that I use almost every time I do my makeup. So that's why the powders were in there. If you were here just a year ago, I would have told you that I prefer pressed powders, but I have kind of moved on to be a loose powder person. So I'm going to dispose of this. This is quite old now too. I wouldn't feel comfortable passing it on for someone to finish. And also like it's so used, it'd be so rude to pass this on like this. It would be just rude. So I'm just going to dispose of it and keep the Wet n Wild. I'm also going to keep the airbrush part of the Charlotte Tilbury powder. I use this more as a finishing powder than the under eye brightener you just saw. And I do really like this. I think it's quite a special powder and I wish Charlotte Tilbury would release that. And then let's just move on to like what I use for like just setting powder. So this is the Hourglass Vanish Press Powder. I do like this, but it's not my favorite. Again, I've kind of moved on to loose powders and I think I'm ready to just commit myself to that, especially with how much product I have in these loose powders. Powder takes me a long time to run through. For example, I've been working on this since 2022 and it was my only under eye powder for a long time and that's how far I got in it. The Hourglass powder I've had for, I guess now maybe closer to 2 years, maybe a little under 2 years. Didn't get very far in it. I liked it well enough. I'm gonna declutter it. Now I'm left with these two amazing, gorgeous, stunning beauties sitting in front of me. We have the About Face powder. I received this in PR. I really like this. It's really gorgeous. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Givenchy powder that I'm going to keep over it. Spoiler alert. I really like it. I actually really like this container. I find that it's really effective at kind of making powder not get everywhere. I know not everyone likes a mesh top. Top joke ensues. But I mostly just take the powder that ends up in this part of it. And then because this is so deep and then there's powder there, it doesn't get everywhere. And I do think that at first I was a little perplexed as to why this was shaped like this, but I really liked that. I have the old formulation of the Givenchy powder. I've had it for years. And this was the year I fell in love with it. Everyone says the new formula is really bad. I haven't tried it, can't speak to it. I really want to focus on this. I really love the way it makes my skin look. I don't know if it's like I aged into it. I know a lot of people my age and younger also really like the original formulation of this powder, but this is incredible. I still have so much of this left and I want to keep loving it. So I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to declutter this one. This one's really good. I would buy this after using up the Prism Leaf, but I don't need to hold on to this. I move through powder so slow. And I'm going to move on to a prime example as to how slow. This is my Chantecaille Perfect Blur Powder. If you were here in 2021, or when did I first buy it? I think did I have it before my budget year? I think I did. It comes in a bigger thing, but I was getting close to the end and all the product was on the edges, and one of my lovely subscribers was like, don't worry, you can repress that and it doesn't affect it. And I have found that to be true. Maybe discolored it a little bit, but I don't think it discolors my face any. I really like this. I have a backup of it, a backup to get me through the rest of the decade. I'm still working on it. I want to keep using this until it's gone. I'm going to keep using it until it's gone. But kind of like I said, this year I've been using a lot of complexion products and testing a lot of complexion products. When I'm testing complexion products, I don't like to use this because it does affect the finish of the foundation. And I'm trying to learn the foundation as it is, not how I want it to be. But I like to use it even on top of my favorite foundations that already blur, just as a more blur. And then I have this from Sisley. This is the Sisley Blur Expert. I got it originally to replace what is still not finished of my Chantecaille Perfect Blur powder because I thought I was going to run through it faster than I did, and I didn't. I like it as a nose primer. I don't use it every time I do my makeup, but I do like having it, especially if I do run into a foundation that does not like working on my nose. It's pretty handy. And I do use it most times I do my makeup, but not every time. You can actually still see the embossing there. I don't like it as a finishing powder. I only like to use it as a nose primer. It also works well as a primer all over the face. That's what a lot of people like to use this product for, but for me, and my purposes, it's just a nose primer. Very expensive nose primer. I do not recommend buying it as a nose primer. Hear me, please. I'm gonna keep her. So I'm gonna get rid of 3 powders. I think I added 1 while we were talking, so I'm going to keep 5 powders. And then just to briefly recap what's left in this palette, these are from Phytosurgeons. These are their Spectral Shines. I have Cool Candlelight and Divine Daylight. Love these. I think of these as like cheek primers after I put on foundation. Like I said, I really like to do the most with my complexion. I use these most times I do my makeup, especially if I'm not testing something. Really love these. Always have them on me. Really, just really like these. I don't think they're for everyone, and I wouldn't consider them a highlighter. You really have to know what you want them for if you choose to buy them. Over here, I have my 2 contour shades. This is Intuition. This is Omen. Both are from Ritual Defeat. I depotted Intuition into this big square pan. I didn't realize it would have been much easier to just depot the actual pan from it. These come in a compact when you buy them from Ritual Defeat. Love them. I'm almost done with Intuition. Like, we are really getting to the bottom here. So very pleased to see that. And then speaking of contours, I have the Victoria Beckham Contour Stilo in the shade Travertine. Since Omen has come into my life, I've not reached for this at all, and I think it's time for me to just let go of it. It just languishes in my collection, and I would like for it to not languish anymore, so I'm going to pass this on. I will swatch this for you since we're here, and this actually has like a color worth seeing. It's just too warm for me. I love the thin contour wand thing that they did, but now a lot of other brands are doing it, and I think other brands would have a better color for me than this one from Victoria Beckham, but I did like it while I had it, and I do think it's a really beautiful product if you have a use for colors that they offer, but not for me. I didn't get rid of a ton, but I'm getting rid of 9 separate products. So that's really nice. I did some editing and I think it was time for me to edit because when I was looking at this part of my makeup drawer and where I keep these things, I was like, I'm very overwhelmed and it was getting chaotic, and I'm glad to finally have this out of my way. Let's talk about lip products. They roll all over the place, so I don't really feel like putting them all in frame and then talking about them. So here's the thing. I have a ton of them. There's like way more than I would like of lip products right now. And I do want to do some damage in this category, which is this is the only category where I really feel like I've said that kind of up front. But I really do feel that way about this category specifically. I have some older lip products that I need to like check in on how they're doing. And I also have some newer products that I think I kept just to be because, and there are also products in here I kept just because. We'll start with this from Black Moon. This is their Sinister Satin in the shade Omen. This is a gorgeous satin black lipstick, and I do think it's my favorite black lipstick. It's not something that comes in a bullet. I am thinking that this probably needs retired soon. It still smells okay actually, so never mind. I don't need to retire it soon. But I have been thinking about getting a black liquid lip recently. Because I want it. I don't know why I want one, but I really do. I recently tried the one from the Conjuring collection that Lethal did. I got that in PR. I bought this Black Moon one, and I don't like it as much as this. So I think this has more pigment to it, also wears better on my lips. It is a little bit of a thicker lipstick formula than the one from the Conjuring collection, but I just prefer this overall, and I think Black Moon is pretty cool. So I'm going to keep this one. I'm just grabbing. Since we're talking about, I grabbed a bullet lipstick first. We will continue with bullet lipsticks. This is from Gucci. This is the shade Cimarron. This is a very like raisiny purple brown. Very pretty. I really like this. Unfortunately, if you do like this shade and you like this formula, they don't make this shade anymore. So unfortunately, just kind of unfortunately altogether. Really like this formula. Not my favorite lipstick formula, but if you find a beautiful shade that they carry, I think that their packaging is really beautiful. It's weighted, it's metal, it's very luxe feeling. Gorgeous color, will keep. I think what I need to do, I could have separated everything by shade, but I think what I'm going to do is going to go through everything kind of at random, then kind of go through again if I feel like something might be too similar to other things. However, all of my nudie brown shades I typically really like to wear. I think the last time I did a declutter, I did a pretty good job comparing them all to each other to make sure that I felt like they were different enough. But since we just swatched a Gucci, let's swatch another Gucci. This is a Royal Scandal. A beloved lipstick shade for all of us who watched Hannah Louise Poston years ago. A gorgeous mucky brown color. Much less interested in wearing this shade more recently. I just tend to wear more basic browns, but I do really like having the option. I'm gonna keep it. I have a lot of sentiment to it. It still has the beautiful candy, kind of like, what is it? Candy violet smell. I like it, so I'm gonna keep it. We have this from Mob. This is their M148 shade. I believe this is the collaboration with Courtney Quarantine. This is a gray lipstick. It pulls a little green on me. I haven't tried applying it very sheer. Mob does make my favorite matte bullet lipstick formula. I think it's really comfortable. I think it looks and wears really well on the lips for being a matte bullet formula. I don't always like love the matte lipstick feeling on my lips, and sometimes I can get overwhelmed by it. But this is such a distinct color, and I do, weirdly, lips. I've been more boring than all the other colors on my face in more recent years, but lips, I'm like, well, let's throw on a black. Let's throw on a gray. I don't know what that's about. I also love a dark brown. So I'm going to keep that for now. But I'm feeling less enthusiastic about that. But the other mauve lipstick I have is the shade M102. This is one of those lipsticks that you could pry out of my dead cold hands. I think this was in collaboration with Jessica Hayes. It's this kind of like yucky nude color. I'm obsessed with it. I've worn it so much this year. We're not doing a good job. I think I also just like bullet lipsticks. You know, like I think that's kind of just my favorite version of a lipstick. I wear lip glosses more, but like a lipstick, a bullet lipstick, Yeah. I have this from Givenchy. It's the shade 51, which I believe is like called Flamboyant Brick, but I don't know that they make this one anymore. This is a limited edition shade. It's this sheer matte orange. It's so pretty. I like wear nothing. I wear nothing. I wear nothing that would warrant this lipstick. And every time I try to wear it, or I do my lips last most of the time, every time I get to my lips, it doesn't wear this vibrant on my lips because I think I have very pigmented lips and it's sheer. So it's not as like in your face as this is here. Still smells good. It still has the Givenchy scent. I really like it. I bought this during my budget year and I hemmed and hawed over it. And I don't know, I feel so compelled to always keep it, but I didn't wear it this year. Don't think I wore it last year. But there's something, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I just get rid of it. I'd never wear it. Like, I actually truly never wear it. And if I am gonna wear a warm color, like if I am doing a really warm face of makeup, I tend to wear like a warm colored lip gloss, which I don't even have a ton of those. So I think this has got to go. I'm so sad though. Oh my god, I love that lipstick. Good formula. Maybe I'll buy another Givenchy shade that is more aligned. That's not something I feel like I need to run out and do, but it is something to consider. This is from MAC. This is the shade Folio. And I bought this to compare to the Mauve shade M102. And in a thick swatch, they look very different. On my lips, they look very similar. This is just a little bit lighter, and I do notice a difference. Considering this is the kind of lip color that I wear a lot of, I feel compelled to keep it. Also, the MAC lipstick bullets, like they got an upgrade within the last couple of years, and this was my first time interacting with the new bullet, and I like it. I'm gonna keep... This is Baby from Merit. They sent this to me in PR. And as I said in an earlier segment, are we finishing with lips, Tom? Yeah, this is a My Lips But Better lipstick, and I don't have anything else like this. It's got gray in it, so it goes really well with my complexion. I am gonna keep Baby. Another shade I got from Merit in PR. This is their matte lipstick in the shade Antibes. Just like with that Givenchy shade, I don't wear this. I'm not gonna wear this. And also, I'm trying to like rid my collection of a lot of my Merit stuff. Then I have this lipstick from NARS. It's the shade Bewitched. I bought this year earlier on a whim. It's this beautiful black cherry color. The problem is I really like the full pigment version of this. I also like whenever it's sheared out on the lips. It's a really beautiful bruisey color, a lot like a lot of the cheek colors I like to wear. But I think because it's so pigmented at first, and then I need to do some work to shear it out to be more like this when it's on my lips, I find myself not reaching for it. But I do like the idea of like having this, but I never really find myself using it. And I also have a similar shade from Trixie Cosmetics. It's the shade Cherry Chip. They sent this to me in PR. That's so pretty. This is the Trixie Satin formula. So now that I have them compared, I don't think they're that close. I don't really think they're that close at all, actually. So that's something to note and something to consider. It's weird because I'll put on a black and I'll be like, I love a vampy lip. And then it's like when it comes to a colorful vampy lip, I just love translucent colors more than I love super pigmented colors. And if they are pigmented, I like for them to be brown. And there we keep running into problems. I think I'm going to definitely keep the NARS one. I've worn this a couple of times and it's really beautiful. And I have the lip liner to go with it. I'm going to keep it. I do like the satin lipstick from Trixie better than I do like their matte formula. Speaking of their matte formula, while we're talking about Trixie, let's keep going. So this is the shade HR Honey. This was the first shade I bought from them. This is much closer to the NARS shade. I bought this shade, but all of the other lipsticks from Trixie were PR. It's really gorge, but I do prefer a satin, and this looks really close to the NARS shade. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the NARS shade and I'm gonna pass on HR Honey. But I do really like their matte lipstick too. I think it's really nice. I have Glamour from the collection with Brittany Broski. This was PR. There's a lot of confusion around this shade. I find it to be a warm neutral. They said it was a cool toned neutral. I don't think it is. I wear a lot of these kinds of colors, and I'm going to keep it. This is the matte formula. So I'm going to keep that one. But I do think I'm going to get rid of Eden, which is the other shade I have from them. They sent this to me in PR. The reason I am not feeling inclined to keep Eden, it's soft and it hits on the side of the bullet. And that, like, it in theory doesn't bother me, but all I know is that the more I wear it, the more beat up it's going to get, and it's going to look worse and worse and worse. And the other shades don't do it. It's for whatever reason only this shade. It's a lighter nude, and I do just wear darker lip colors for some reason. Like it's either they have to be sheer or they have to be dark. So I think I'm gonna pass on Eden. We'll talk about these. These are from Ritual Defeat. This is their Enchanted Lip Sheers. This is in the shade Medusa. This was part of Andromeda's collection. It's like this gray green. It has a slight sheen to it. Here's what I'll say. I don't love the lip sheer formula. I find it incredibly drying on my lips. So if you were looking for something like really hydrating, it's really not it. It's just like isn't it. But I really like the effect that it gives, but my lips have to be in perfect condition. I'm going to keep that, receive that in PR. Then I also have the shade Water Violet, and it's a very beautiful mauve color, and I do like this. I do like it. The problem with the slim lip products is that they're gonna get lost, and I don't really think of them. So that's something to ponder and think about in these trying times. Something to ponder and think about. Oh, I have another bullet lipstick. This is from Westman Atelier. This is their lipstick in the shade Rue. And it's a beautiful formula. It's interesting because it's like very thin and lightweight, but super highly pigmented. It's definitely just brown compared to like the NARS shade I kept Bewitched. I like the packaging of this, but it also doesn't fit with the lipstick container that I have, which I'm now kind of reconsidering. I'm reconsidering everything. I've never reconsidered more in my whole life than during the course of this video. I'm feeling I want to keep that. I know there's something nice about like a covetable lipstick packaging. I mean, I love packaging just in general. Should we talk about lip balms? Let's talk about lip balms. So lip balms feel very utilitarian to me. And it's like, I don't know. That's how they feel to me. They just feel utilitarian. It's like always nice to have them all over the place. First, I have this one from CoverGirl. It's the shade Bliss You Berry, and they sent this to me in PR. I've used quite a bit of it. The thing is, it's like I keep them with my lipsticks, and I probably just really should keep them elsewhere. It's a sheer berry color. It reads really like, just kind of darkens my lips a little bit with my pigmentation on my lips. So it doesn't really look like that berry-y when I put it on. I'm gonna keep it, I guess. I don't know, like, I'm gonna put them somewhere else. I don't think that they should be with my lipsticks, I guess. I do have this lip smoke therapy, this smoke lip therapy from Priya Means Love. This was sent to me by a friend. This is a really beautiful gray lip balm. Love this, love the formula. It has a very medicinal scent to it. It has like compostable packaging, which is kind of annoying because it has like a push up. It's not a twist up, but I do like this. I should, yeah, again, it needs to go somewhere else. I also have Phytosurgeons. Mine's so mad. This is in the shade Brave Break. I don't love these. A lot of people do. The Phyto fans really do love it. It doesn't hydrate my lips enough for some reason. Like, I don't know. My lips don't get out of it what other people's lips get out of it. I'm not trying to be difficult. And I love a lot of Phytosurgeon stuff, but the lip balm just isn't for me, unfortunately. All right, so we're gonna pass on that because it will feel like such a burden to use. Do we have any other bullets? Oh, we do. I have this from Ravi Beauty. It is the Dahlia lipstick from them. I do really like this formula. It does feel a little more like lip balm than it feels like a lipstick, but it has pigment. It's very close to this, and I never reach for either of them, so I should probably only keep one. While I do prefer this formula, and I think it's really lovely and nourishing and delightful to use, I never use it. And I would be more compelled to use this one. So I'm going to pass on that. And I don't know, maybe if this was in thicker packaging, maybe if all of these were in thicker packaging, I would use them more. Is there any lip products that are really thin in your makeup collection that you don't get to because they are not like the same size as the other stuff in your makeup collection? Let me know. I'm actually genuinely curious. I have two lip oils from the Lethal collection with Dexter, and I really like these. I think of these as like lip balms though, just as I do, yeah, like I think they should go in a different category. They very lightly enhance my lips, but I really like how nourishing they feel. And that's like the best part about them. There's no stain, there's no pH adjuster or anything. They just add a slight tint. Just like the black darkens my lips a little bit. The orange one warms up my lips a little bit. And yeah, like since they're such invisible products, I wear them like lip balms. And they have shimmer particles in them, which you can't really see. You can't really see them on the lips either, but you can see them in the container maybe. It's a little bit of shimmer particle. They're not something that makes my lips look incredibly shimmery. So that's not really something to concern. But I'm going to find a different place to put them with my lip balms because just how I view them in my mind. This is the Froze lip glaze. I think maybe I meant to throw this away. Maybe this was supposed to be an empty because there kind of comes a point with the lip glazes from In Beauty Project where they just kind of get close to the bottom. Now, I remember Froze, I remember it being pink, but now mine's white, but still smells like it. I was working on this for a while. I think I brought this down here because I thought it was done. But I have finished a couple of these with still some product in the bottom. I'm not a person who pulls out a stopper to finish a lip product. Get the fuck out of here. It's not going to be me. If we're talking about a preference in lip oils, I do think I prefer the lethal ones. These are definitely more readily available to most people. I also have Glazed Donut. Yeah, these definitely changed color a lot. These shimmers used to be a lot darker. Like this was pink. If I recall correctly, this is a pink and it's white. Maybe I should get rid of them because they're discolored. Glazed Donut has a little bit of a shimmer to it, but it's not really. Like it's there, but it's not. So it's, I don't know. You know what? I'm feeling weird because, well, okay. Here's the thing. I do feel weird about keeping this one. I'm going to actually just call this an empty and I'm going to dispose of it. I love this one. This one's my favorite one of the lip oils. It just has like it has a beautiful scent. I use these like lip balms, so I'm just gonna put that with to find a new place to remember to use them. Just to have them at desks where I can just easily grab them is really kind of the plan for those. I'm not gonna swatch these next things because they have plumping agents in them. My skin is a little bit raw, as you can tell here. There's just something, my skin's just reacting to the constant swatching and removing. Historically, I have done my declutter series over a couple of days. However, the setup I have right now, I do really like, but it eats up half of my room and then I have to move a bunch of furniture. So just trying to get it all done in one day. So I'm not going to swatch the lip plumping products, but I have 3 of these from CoverGirl. These are their Yummy Lip Plumpers. I do like this, and I have loved to keep them in purses, but the reality is I'd never choose them to be like the lip product I put on first. So like when I'm getting ready to do my makeup, they're not what I'm like putting on originally. They're just like what I have in a purse. Like, so it's just like if this one happens to be the one that's in my purse, or this one just like they're just already in a purse. So I think I'm just going to declutter them because they are just not faves. In my mind, it's just like I like having them as purse stuff, but I also, why am I not just taking the stuff that I would rather wear and I'm choosing to wear at my vanity with me? You know, like that doesn't make sense to me. So I'm just going to declutter them. This is another thing with a plumper agent in it, but I have used this so much on my channel. This is the Isamaya Lip Lac in the shade Metal. Love this. Love this. I panned a whole one. This is my second tube. Super sparkly. A lot of products will look sparkly in the container and then you put them on your lips and they're just like kind of sparkly. No, these are so sparkly. It's a very special formula. I very much like it. I'm going to keep that. Although it has kind of been outshined by these in more recent months. These are the Mob lip glosses. I have Diamond Star Halo, which is clear, but I've stained the lip. And these also have a ton of shimmer in them. You can see there, just beautiful shimmer. Really like them. I have been choosing Diamond Star Halo over the Isamaya, but what probably will happen is I will pan this one, then I will work on the Isamaya one and then come back to this. And I also have the Dark Star shade that Jessica Hayes did. And I thought this would be closer to Metal, but it is a lot darker. I don't know if it's close to the other Isamaya Lip Lac that is black. I do really like it. The only thing is the sheer black pigment moves around on the lips a little more than I would like, or I just don't like when that happens. So like, I just find that this effect, this gray effect, kind of really disappears really quickly, where with the sheer one, the sparkles are where they want to be, and it like doesn't matter because there's no base pigment. But I do like it. I'm gonna keep it because I wear these all the time. But there's something about sheer black lip products that no one's getting right. Speaking of, this is the Thorn Bite Peptide Oil from Rituel de Fille. I have the same problem with this that I have with the Dark Star lip gloss. The pigment moves around on my lips and it's not consistent. The best way that I have found for this to work is I apply a thick layer and then I blend it in with my fingers, and it gives me a more even look on the lips. So I do like it, but it's not my favorite. It often looks patchy, even though it's like a gloss. Like, it's just not my favorite thing. So I like it. I'm gonna keep it. It comes in a beautiful glass bottle. Oh, it's the shade Blackthorn, by the way. It's the black one. Because I think I could finish it, but I don't know I would rebuy one. It's not as nourishing as I would like for it to be either. Another disappointing product for me is the Fenty lip oil. This is in the shade Rose Amber. I don't love how thin this is. I would have preferred this as a lip gloss. They have since released as a lip gloss. I don't feel compelled to buy it, but I think I am going to declutter this. This is a really nice, cool toned taupe with a lot of beautiful sparkle in it. My problem is that the sparkle, where is the sparkle? Once you put it on your lips, the sparkle is like not even there. The pigment fades really quickly. I don't care for it, so I'm going to declutter it. I like the idea of it better than I actually like the thing. This is from Armani. This is their Prismaglass, and I was just talking about this in a recent video where I was recapping my previous year's purchase, and I'm like halfway through this, and this is just like a nudie lip gloss. It also has some sparkles in it. The sparkles, though, in this one, I think are to give the illusion that your lips are fuller than they are. Sometimes I find that like really slight shimmer particles in a lip gloss will do one of two things. They are either there to look shimmery, or they are there to make the gloss look glossier on your lips. And I think that's what this does. This has a chapstick formula. Like, it feels like a liquid lip balm. It doesn't feel like a lip gloss. It's not super thick. You can even see it next to the lip oil. Like, it's just much thinner. I do like this. I wouldn't buy this again, but I do think I am going to keep it. Oh my god, we're doing so good. Okay, this is from In Beauty Project. I received this in PR. This is their Sun Balm SPF in the shade Latte. And I love the idea of having a lip balm SPF. I never reach for this. It's not even because I don't like the formula. I just never reach for it. I think it just has to go. And I do think when it comes to something like this, I would prefer a wand. It's thick. I don't know if that has anything to do with the SPF, and it's pretty orange looking. I don't know. It's not my favorite. Also, when I was wearing this in the summer, I feel like it led to the white ring pretty quickly. And this is also, oh no, it's still good. It's still good. It's still good. This is pretty messy, so I'm gonna clean that up and then maybe offer it to a close friend. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Plumpgasm. It's almost gone. I'm not gonna swatch this because it is a lip plumper, but it's just like a nude pink lip gloss. I'm almost done with this. I think I just need to power through and finish it. I do like this, and I did enjoy having this. I don't know that I'm feeling like the lip plumper vibe more these days. I do like it sometimes. Like, I think I ebb and flow whether or not I really am like into the idea of a lip plumper. But this was really, I mean, it's obnoxious. It's super huge. And I don't know. I don't feel like I used it a ton. I don't track usages, but it's just a lot of product, and the wand is really big, and I feel like a lot of product comes out with it. It's quite messy. Like, I don't think I need that much to put on my lips, and I felt like maybe that's why I've been going through it so quickly. But I think this is like, if it became a focus product and I was just like, that's the lip product I'm wearing for a while, I think I could use it up quite quickly. So that's something to consider. Last lip plumper is this from City Lips. This is in the shade Pink Nude. It's their City Lips lip plumper, or I don't know, what is it called? I do like the clear one. I have not enjoyed this one with color as much. Why is it so neon pink? Do you see that? Maybe the doe foot's just pink, but like, whoa, what's going on there? Yeah, I think I'm gonna declutter this. I haven't repurchased the City Lips lip plumper. I really like it as a prep step, but I did not like this. And I think the reason is because it has pigment in it, it sets into like fine lines, the pigment does, and I'm using this to plump my lips. I don't know, it's just not as elegant feeling as the clear one was, so I'm going to declutter it. This is from About Face. This is their Cherry Pick Lip Butter color, and I have kept this for... Okay, it is clicking up. It was just taking its good old time. I've kept this for years because I like it. I like the formula of it. I think it's really comfortable. This is in the shade Nashi Pear. Wears beautifully on the lips. I don't like any of the colors that they really offer. And everyone always mentions, like every time I say that, people like, no, that one color. There's like one color that people are like, you would like that color. I don't think I would, because I think it will pull warm on me, which I think a lot of people forget that my skin will do that. So I don't think there's a perfect shade in this. I very rarely choose to wear this. Very rarely wearing colors that would call for this kind of color. I do like this formula a lot. If there's a color that you really like from it, go ahead and grab it. It's a really lovely formula. Okay, this is from Merit. This is their Tabby lip oil. This has shimmer in it, but you cannot see it on the lips. Also, it doesn't even really seem like you can see it in camera. Maybe it's all shifted to the bottom. I haven't used this in a while. And it's possible that all the shimmer is in the bottom. No, I can see it. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, I'm not going to keep this. I don't love Merit's lip oil formula, but I really liked a combo of this with one of their lip liners, but I never wear that combo. And I have a lot of sheer things that will give a similar effect, so that can go. Oh my god, I'm finally making progress. This is from Trixie Cosmetics. This is their lip gloss in Tubby Custard. I think they still have this available. It's from their Teletubbies collection, which I don't know how long they're going to keep it available. Anyway, this lip gloss formula... Now, I've tried a completely, well, a clear version of their lip gloss that has like a slight hint of purple in it. The formulas are very different. So this has like this very white based pink color to it, and it has this watermelon scent. And I do like this color on my lips. It's very stringy at first, but once it sets, which is weird for like a lip gloss to set, it's not like transfer proof when it sets. When I mean by it sets, it's like, it's not stringy anymore after a certain point, and it's really beautiful. And the thing is, when you first put it on your lips, it looks terrible, but there's something about it like finding its place on your lips where it really becomes gorgeous. So I'm gonna keep that. This is the VT Lip Plumper. This is really spicy on the lips, and it really makes your lips really big for like 10 seconds. Not worth it decluttering. This is Icy Amethyst from Fenty Beauty, and this is their Gloss Balm Stick. This is right up my alley. It's a stick lip gloss that, wow, it's so purple in this swatch. It doesn't look good on this lip. Lots of sparkle in there. The sparkles show up on the lips. I really like it. It reminds me a little bit of the Mauve glosses. Not as sparkly, but I do like the effect of it. My lips always look really good in this color, so gonna keep that. Finally, I have this from Odin's Eye. This is Tina's collection with them, or from Tina's collection with them. It's the shade Creativity. It's the Glow lip balm, so there's some sparkle in it. There's some like blue sparkles in it, but it's an orange base, but it's not super pigmented. It just looks really lovely on the lips. I'm not sure that I don't know, do I need to keep it though? I never think to wear it, but when I do, I'm always happy that I have. Okay, I think I'm gonna get rid of it, just because it's like, it's not ringing as like, I don't know, I feel like I need my lip products kind of to read iconic. So, let me count up and show you what I've decluttered, because we are through those. We have lip liners to go though, so stay tuned. I'm decluttering 17 lip products. I am moving 5 to a different place because I don't think I want to count lip balms as cosmetics. I'll report back when I get some, like, you know, if you want to hear about my thoughts on them. But I'm not really like a lip balm aficionado like some people are on YouTube, so I'm not really sure anyone's looking to me for that kind of information. But these, I'm like technically removing these from the makeup collection, and I'm keeping 21 lip products. Still a lot of lip products, but it's not feeling as overwhelming to me, so I'm very pleased with that. Okay, let's go through some lip liners. We'll start with these Merit ones. I received all of these in PR. I think I have 4? Yeah, I have 4 of them. So unfortunately, I actually really quite like this lip liner formula. I might keep one, but we'll see. I'm gonna swatch them all. We'll start with Mayfair, Sportif, Capricorn, and Coupe. Okay, immediately I think Sportif can go. I also think that Coupe can go. The other two I do quite like. So Capricorn is a very nice cool toned brown, and then Mayfair is like a mauvey gray color, and I really like both of those. I don't think I have lip liners, these colors. As you'll find, we are not going to find a ton of colorful lip colors whenever it comes to lip liner. Just not my thing with lip liner. Although sometimes a colorful lip liner will come in handy. But I wear a lot of browns. It doesn't really warrant that. But I do think that that would work really well with Baby and other nudes that I have. And I wear a lot of browns, so that's very helpful. I like this formula. It's not the most long wearing, but I think it has some good longevity. I like how blurred the lip lines they make them. I do like the formula. So if you know of other formulas that are very similar, I would be interested to hear. We're going to move on to my Trixie lip liners. This is the shade Fashionably Late, Cherry Chip, Eden, Glamour, sorry, and Eden. So I know I didn't keep the Eden lipstick, but this lip liner has come in handy for me a couple of times, just as something to put down on the lip line. It looks very natural on my lips. And then Glamour, I'm not sure I really need. I don't know, I wish it would be darker, especially to go with the Glamour lipstick specifically, but it's a little bit warm for my liking as far as a lip liner goes. So I think I will pass on Glamour. I have a lot of dark brown shades. The thing about the Trixie lip liners is I like them. They stay a very long time, but they also set kind of quickly. And as someone who likes a blurred lip line, that can be a little bit challenging. The one I got, the Fashionably Late one, which I think is the one I just said I was about to declutter, it came in a duo with HR Honey. This one was weird. It like kind of pilled on me. It was a little bit strange. It hasn't done that since the first time I tried it. That one's not good, but all of the other three, I don't know if I just like got one that was really old and sitting in the warehouse for a while. Maybe Trixie's fandom and the people who buy from Trixie Cosmetics are not interested in a dark brown lip liner. I am, so that's why I bought it. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that one because the formula is just like not as good on that one as it is on the other ones I have from them. So I'm going to keep two of those. I'm going to keep Cherry Chip as well, mostly to wear with the Cherry Chip lipstick, but also to add some something to another lip product if I wanted to, or even like under a lip gloss. This is the Refi Lip Blur in the shade Teak. I love a lip blur. I'm going to zoom you out so you can see all the swatches all in one go. Love this. I really do like this. Mine hasn't fallen out like other people's have. I'm not sure why that is, but I do really like this. It's gray. It's gray. And it's much cooler than Capricorn. These are more satin than this, but this is also kind of like very soft. I mean, I'm going to keep that one, but I'm thinking about maybe letting go of Capricorn. This is the Victoria Beckham lip liner in the shade 5. I always get that wrong. 5. It's a warm brown. It's not my favorite lip liner. I don't think it's like worth the money, but it's kind of like a camel brown. I didn't keep anything like it, but I never wear this lip liner, so I think I'm just okay decluttering it. I think I'm okay making that decision. Something else I think I'm okay letting go of is Endless Cacao from Makeup Forever. This was my first love affair with a really cool toned brown, but I have other ones that I reach for more over this now. And it is really pretty and it's really nice, and I do like the lip liner formula, but I've moved on to greener pastures. Like the Isamea lip liner in the shade Liberica, which has a lot more purple to it. But they look really similar when you swatch them next to each other, but there is like a little bit of nuance, and I would use them for the same thing, but I do like Liberica better as a shade. And I also like from Mob M159. But this is my favorite lip liner color, if you couldn't tell. M159 is closer to Endless Cacao, so I will keep it just to have something like that kicking around, and I just prefer the Mob formula, I think. And then I have MAC Chestnut, which is a warmer brown. Yeah, so I'm going to keep that one as well. Looks really good with some of my lipsticks. I don't think I need Capricorn since I have the Refi Lip Blur. So I'll get rid of that. So I'll just keep Mayfair from Merit. So I'm going to keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to keep 7 lip liners. And I'm decluttering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I just cut the lip liners in half? That's great. I feel like at the beginning of the year, I had like 3 lip liners. I had 14 lip liners. Crazy behavior. And that's a wrap on the 2025 declutter. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts and feelings on every piece of makeup. I hope you enjoyed the single shadow major declutter because that was really wild. And I just wanted to show you some things that I am starting to work on just to make my collection work a little bit better for me. So here are all of my cheek products. I did go ahead and depot them. I'm not completely done with this process, but I've started decluttering my highlighters. The only 2 highlighters I haven't decluttered are the Hindash highlighters. They are a baked gelée formula, and those are a little bit different. I need to find a pan size big enough to depot them. I think I did this in the course of the declutter, but I did depot the Trixie bronzer, and there wasn't a lot more beneath the surface of the like plastic stopper because I was almost done with it. There was a little more down there, but it wasn't very deep into that. So I did move my bronzers into this clear one. It will make them easier to see when they're in the drawers. These are all of my cream blushes. At first, initially, before I did the declutter, my cream and powders were living in here, but now only my powders live in here. And now I'm just going to send you to some brief iPhone footage that I took of what my drawers look like now. I didn't take before videos, but when I show you this footage, just know that my drawers, I used to use all 5 of the drawers, but now I'm actually only using the top 4 drawers. So here's a little additional footage of my drawers. Okay, here are my IKEA drawers. Like I said in the outro, this drawer is just like non-makeup stuff. Those are like palettes and stuff, but they're just empty stuff, so not anything in there. And then in here, this is now my blush and cheek stuff. This is like my utilitarian powder thing, but then in this stack, this is all my blushes, highlighters, and bronzers. These are what I can't depot or I didn't choose to depot, and like I said, I still have to depot the Hindash highlighters. And then up here, this drawer is what I'm most excited about. My eyeshadows are all in the same drawer now, so my single shadows, my palettes are all in the same drawer. I'm hoping that because even if I am going to come in here and reach for a single shadow, my eyeshadow palettes will be here. Like they're like an obstacle to get to them. So hopefully that will encourage me to use them more. And previously, my eyeshadow palettes were in that bottom drawer that has like the random stuff in it right now. And these were actually in the drawer above this. So they were just so far away from one another, but now they are all together. So kind of going forward, kind of means like, ooh, I don't really want to have more eyeshadows than can fit in here. I do think I might get some more of these ADEPT stackable palettes to depot the really big Bella Beauty bar palettes and put them in one of those, in their own individual one. And that way I can stack them like this, and then I will just be able to put those in the bottom drawer, and then if I ever want to give them away, I can just give them away with the packaging. And then if we go up one more drawer, here are my lip products. I previously had my lip products in like acrylic thing. Whenever I was doing the declutter, I realized there's a lot of lip products that I really like that I never use because I couldn't see them. So right now, my lip products can't really get bigger than this because now everything's laying flat, but I can see it all. And I also had a lot of lip products that were too big to even fit in there, like these ones. So they weren't even in there, so I never used them because they just like weren't in that acrylic thing. But little stuff like this would also get lost in the acrylic thing, so I never used them. And now the lip liners, which used to be in a little box with the big lipsticks, they're in their own little thing, and they're much easier to get to. And then up here, this is foundations, concealers, and powders are all in this little box. In this box are my primers and setting sprays, and then eyeliners, mascaras, and stuff like that I use a lot are all up here. So that's what we have going on with my drawers. So that's what my makeup collection's looking like now. Today was my first time doing my makeup since then, and I really enjoyed how everything was set up, so I can't wait to use this setup even more. I'm so happy that I did this, so I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Make sure you like hype this video. Hyping is a thing now. Please like and hype, and I think that's it. Make sure you check out that pinned comment if you forgot at the beginning of the video, so make sure you check that out. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your haute, and you will find me. I will see you in a video very soon. Go forth. It's out.